Welcome to the Ghana ICT Hub, a partnership between MTN Ghana and the Government of Ghana through the Ministry of Communications and Digitization. MTN pledged to support Ghana's digitization agenda in line with its ambition to lead the delivery of digital solutions for Africa's progress. In fulfillment of this pledge, MTN Ghana has committed $25 million toward the realization of the Ghana ICT Hub project. The objectives of the Ghana ICT Hub project is anchored on the following: to create an ICT-enabled environment for human capital and ICT skills development, to develop an ICT ecosystem through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development, to provide a modern, state-of-the-art physical infrastructure to serve as a pillar for the digital Ghana agenda. The physical infrastructure, when completed, will provide 4,000 square meters of space with the following facilities: laboratory. Welcome to the Ghana ICT.
Minister, is that not what you said?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources whether the family that released the parcel of land on which the Upper West Regional Coordinating Council building is situated has been compensated. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Upper West Regional Coordinating Council office is located at Digu residential area in the Wa municipality. The entire area, which also hosts the regional offices of a number of ministries, forms part of acquisitions made by the erstwhile colonial government in the then Northern Territories. Available records from the Lands Commission show that compensation was duly paid by the colonial government at the time of acquisition. The land is therefore public land for which compensation has been duly paid. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, you're okay. Thank you very much. We move to question 1745. Question 1745. This time when we go to Gumwa East. Gumwa East, Honorable Desmond de Graaf, P2. Is he not around? We move to question 1762. Yes, leader.
Right, Honorable Speaker, once our colleague, the Minister, is here, I think we should take advantage and ask the question.
Well, ask the question.
Mr. Speaker, I also come.
It's in.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the said question that appears in the Hansard today has been asked already since February. So, we'd like you to let the Hansard department expunge this from today's proceedings. But before I do that, the last time the minister came, there was a question that I asked, a follow-up question, that he couldn't answer. He said you don't have the answer, so he will provide it later. So I want to find out from him.
Honorable member, if your question that has been filed is answered.
Speaker, that's why I'm pleading. If it is allowed, if it is not allowed, then I stop it, because he has already answered the question.
No, I can't allow that.
And thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
If it is not allowed,
thank you so much. We move to question 1762. Question 1762. Honorable member for Tamale North, Honorable Suhini Alasa. Is he not around?
Speaker,
Yes,
with
leader.
your indulgence, I'll ask the question on behalf of us, just to make it. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources whether the Tamale Abuabo timber market has been sold to a private developer and same earmark for demolition.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Tamale Abuabo timber market, measuring approximately 7 acres, falls within a public land situate a line along the Tamale Haboya Main Road. This public land has been earmarked for redevelopment in accordance with government's urban redevelopment scheme to redevelop underutilized public lands to contribute to the socio-economic development of the country and give a facelift to our cities. Mr. Speaker, as part of the redevelopment scheme, under the stewardship of my predecessor, Honorable Asumachiremi, by a lease dated 15 December 2020, by taking effect from 29 August 2020, a portion of the land, measuring approximately 1.38 acres, has been granted to Fatu Kariban Company for a term of 50 years. The lease is expected to develop the land for commercial purposes only, for the benefit of the people of Tamale and its environs. To be able to commence with a redevelopment, the lessee must be granted vacant possession to the portion of the land granted. This will require the removal of some structures within the area. Mr. Speaker, the Lands Commission indicates to me that this is not a demolition exercise, as there are no permanent structures on the land. There are, however, a number of kiosks or containers that may be affected by this exercise. The Lands Commission assures this House and the population in the Abuabo enclave and the lessee that all measures will be taken to make sure that the demolition exercise is undertaken smoothly. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Are you taking the second substantive question?
One follow-up question.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker, we thank the Minister for the answer. The question was to, first of all, the first part was to ask if the part of the market had been sold. I thought the Minister's answer would have been quite clear. Yes, part of it has been sold, because even if it's a lease, you've exchanged money or something before you granted that 50 years lease. So, Mr. Speaker, I would have thought the Minister would have been emphatic by saying, yes, it's been sold. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, may I ask the Minister if he's sure that there are no permanent structures on the land, because he said it's only kiosks and containers. There may be kiosks and containers existing on a particular property for 20 years. So when he says there are no permanent structures to be demolished, can he distinguish between that? Because he tried to qualify the demolition to say that if it's not a permanent structure, then it's not being demolished. The member asked because he's a member for the area, he wants to be sure whether, if they are going to remove those structures, whether compensation or people are duly informed so that people don't wake up one day and see their properties removed. So I want to that confirmation from
Very well, Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the first part of the question, which is that I should have been forthright in saying that the land, part of the land is being sold. Mr. Speaker, I refrain from using the word sold as captured in the question, because in land administration and land law, the concept is lease. You lease, you assign, you sub-lease. The concept of sold is alien. And so the word sold itself is problematic. That's why I didn't use the word sold. So, Speaker, secondly, the issue of compensation, I'll be reluctant in making further comments or detailed comments. The Lands Commission is working with the lessee and the occupants of these lands to resolve the issues involved, because whether or not compensation is due, how much is due, and whether or not we should pay compensation, all of those are complex matters. And I wouldn't want to make any comment which will commit the Lands Commission or the lessee. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable Leader, you may take the second substantive question.
Rightly so, Mr. Speaker.
1763.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources what the outcome of investigations into attempted export of 5 containers of Rosewood species in June and July of 2021 is.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, sometime in June 2021, 5 containers loaded with rosewood were impounded at the Tema port. Following reports of the arrest, a team from the ministry, led by my Deputy Minister and Member of Parliament for Achuma Webeja North, Honorable Benito Usubio, inspected the containers, and after going through all the required processes, the containers were evacuated to the Forestry Commission depot in Achimota, and the rosewood subsequently donated to the National Cathedral project in line with our policy. Mr. Speaker, the National Investigation Bureau launched an investigation into the matter. I am informed that the investigations are still ongoing and has not yet been concluded. Mr. Speaker, apart from this specific investigation of the 5 containers, on 30th August 2021, I wrote to the Minister for National Security requesting for full-scale investigations into the cartels involved in this rosewood business, and I'm informed that this investigation is also ongoing. Mr. Speaker, I wish to emphasize that the matters of investigations and law enforcement are within the remit of the various security agencies established by law. The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources continue to provide these agencies with the needed support and cooperation to execute their mandate and to ensure that all those found culpable are made to face the full rigors of the law. Mr. Speaker, the ban on the harvesting, trading, exporting and importing of rosewood, as well as the issuance of Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora CITES permits for the export of rosewood remain in full force, and we have largely come to grips with the illegalities associated with the rosewood cartels. We will continue to work with all stakeholders to protect, preserve and conserve these precious endangered species. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister, you may now answer question 1779. 1779. Honorable Member for Eurocrobo. Eurocrobo. Honorable Dr. Abetete Nyakuti.
Right,
you have the floor now.
Right, Honorable Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources which companies have permits to mine limestone in the Krobo enclave, when the permits were granted, and which CSR projects have been executed by these companies.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, limestone is one of the industrial minerals critical for infrastructure development. Particularly, limestone is used in the manufacture of cement for construction and other purposes. For a very long time, Ghana Cement Company Limited, GhanaWeb, was the only cement producing company in the country. The recent upsurge in cement producing companies came with an increasing demand for this industrial mineral to feed the cement industry. Mr. Speaker, exploitation of limestone occurs in the eastern, western, and northern parts of our country. In the Krobo area, in the eastern region, there are currently 7 companies with the requisite licenses and permits to mine limestone in Otekwelo, Pong, and Chinchini in the Yilo Krobo municipality, Pomponya Donya in the Lower Manya Krobo municipality, and Sedom in the Esojaman municipality. They are 1. Te Quarry license granted on 7th November 2017. Cement de l'Afrique, CIMAF, license granted on 13th November 2018. Adjournment, Bediako Limited and Jekoma Construction, license granted on 18th December 2018. AJ Fudge Limited, license granted on 26th April 2019. West Africa Quarry, license granted on 26th August 2019. Pompoya Donya Mining Limited, license granted on 29th August 2022. And Claws and Halls Limited, license granted on 16th February 2023. I must, however, add, Mr. Speaker, that there are other companies with mining licenses, but which are currently not operating because they have not acquired all the requisite permits to commence operation, while there are others whose licenses have expired and are yet to renew them. Mr. Speaker, these companies are involved in a number of corporate social responsibility projects within the Krobo enclave, including construction of classroom blocks, teachers' bungalows, boreholes, rural electrification, among others. These CSR projects are usually the result of an agreement between the companies and the communities where they operate. Mr. Speaker, a detailed list of projects executed, those being executed, and others to be executed by the companies are attached to this answer, and I will want Hansard to fully capture them. Mr. Speaker, the natural resources of our country, including industrial minerals like limestone, remain the property of the people of Ghana, and we will continue to work with all stakeholders to ensure that their exploitation, management, and utilization inure to the Ghanaian people as owners of these resources. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable Doctor, I'll give you one supplementary.
Yes, I have a follow-up question. Mr. Speaker, I want to commend the Minister for the comprehensive response. I see a tall list of CSR projects which really amaze me. But my question to the Minister is if he's able to provide the permits and lists required before a mining company starts operation.
Honorable Member, may you repeat the question, please?
Mr. Speaker, I repeat my question. Will the Honorable Minister be able to provide a list of permits and licenses required before each company starts operating in the Limestone area?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I heard my honorable colleague pose the question as to whether I can provide the list of permits and licenses before these companies are allowed to operate in that particular area. Mr. Speaker, I will respectfully refer my honorable colleague to page 20 of the answer I provided. And Mr. Speaker, you will see on that page that I've provided copiously the various companies, the licenses granted, the dates the licenses were granted, and for which reason they are operating within the enclave is just indicated. And there are 7 companies. If you want me to repeat them, I can repeat, but I've provided them. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very, very much, Honorable Minister. We turn to question 1800. 1800. Honorable Member for Medina, and I believe his counterpart from Adenta has already indicated to me and has granted the leave to ask the question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources on behalf of Honorable Francis Xavier Kujososu the detailed list of state lands acquired from the state between January 2017 and February 2023. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, respectfully, this is about the 4th time I am answering this particular question. Having answered the same question on 3rd February 2022, 3rd March 2022, 28 June 2022, and 23rd November 2022. Mr. Speaker, similar questions have also been posed in respect of the years between 2009 and 2016 and 2001 to 2021. Effectively, Mr. Speaker, therefore, I have directed the Lands Commission, the repository of this information, to put together the statistics from 2001 to 2021, a period of 20 years, which will comprehensively answer all the questions posed by honorable members, the instant question inclusive. Mr. Speaker, I am informed by the Lands Commission that a dedicated team has been put together to compile the records for this august house. Due to the manual nature of records and the volume of work involved, the team is yet to complete the exercise. As I have always assured this august house, an assurance I repeated on 23rd November 2022. Once the records are complete, I will submit same to this august house. Mr. Speaker, let me, however, use this opportunity to once again call on this august house to support government's effort at digitalizing the records of the Lands Commission. Once this is done, these records will be available at the click of a button, and we can construct here in our country a robust land administration that is fit for purpose. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very, very much, Honorable Minister. No, I'm not granting. Honorable Suhini, you were to answer 2 separate questions. You had 2, 3. You weren't in. Now that you came, you want to behave.
Mr. Speaker, I sincerely apologize for my absence when I was called to fill my questions on the other paper. Mr. Speaker, I got caught up in a committee meeting.
Well,
you
ask your supplementary question. Ask the question.
Thank you. So I'll be grateful if you allow me some follow-ups. I thank the leader for asking the substantive question on my behalf. Going through the questions, Mr. Speaker, I'll be grateful if you allow me to do a follow-up on question number 1762.
No, my friend Suhini, no, I wouldn't grant you that leave. So we will turn to question 1801. No, if it is supplementary question to 1800, fine, but not to go back to your own questions. No, we've gone past that. So we turn to question 1801. Yes, Honorable Member for Denta.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise once again to ask the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, on behalf of Francis Xavier Kojo-Sosu, measures being taken to prevent financial fraud at the Lands Commission following arrest of some officials of the Commission by the National Investigation Bureau, NIB. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, sometime last year, the Internal Audit Unit of the Lands Commission, in the course of their routine auditing at the Land Valuation Division of the Commission, identified some discrepancies between assessed stamp duties and actual payments received by the Lands Commission. The said discrepancies were said to have resulted from underpayment and or non-payment of assessed stamp duty on certain documents submitted for stamping. Management of the Lands Commission constituted a committee to investigate the matter and make recommendations to management. The committee, after its investigations, found that some staff of the Commission, in connivance with others who are not staff of the Commission, were allegedly responsible for the underpayment and or non-payment of assessed stamp duty. Due to the potential criminal activities involved, the matter was referred to the National Security Apparatus for further investigations and necessary action. This led to the arrest of some staff of the Commission who were put before court for various offences. Mr. Speaker, the findings of the committee and the work of the national security apparatus has led to a broader investigation about financial malfeasance in the Commission, which is also currently underway. The officers involved have been interdicted, and a committee of inquiry has been set up to further interrogate the matter without prejudice to the investigation being undertaken by the national security apparatus. Meanwhile, Mr. Speaker, several measures are being implemented to prevent future occurrence of such activities. A verification system to cross-check payments made on the Ghana.gov platform and the actual amount charged is being implemented. It was the absence of this verification system that allowed the syndicate involved to clear documents even when the stamp duty has not been paid or has been underpaid. The electronic land system, the electronic land information system, which was developed in-house by the Commission to run the electronic services of the Commission and which was exploited by the syndicate to commit the fraudulent acts, has been given to a firm to manage its development and update to safeguard the security of the system. As an additional measure, the Commission is engaging the Ghana Revenue Authority to streamline the stamp duty assessment and payment process. The Commission has also intensified its engagement with clients who have been advised not to engage middlemen or goro boys, as they are popularly referred to, in assessing their services. The Client Services Unit of the Commission will provide all services to all clients at the approved charges only. Again, Mr. Speaker, clients have been advised to make use of electronic payment system directly to the designated accounts of the Lands Commission to avoid any interference in the payment process. Mr. Speaker, I want to urge all those who assess the services of the Commission to abide by these tips to prevent these fraudulent activities. Together, we can build a land administration that is effective and efficient and anchored on the highest standards of integrity, transparency, and candor in the public interest. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Very well. Honourable members, we bring question time to a close. We thank owners of the questions, and we thank the Minister very much for attending upon the House to answer questions from members. Minister, you are hereby discharged. Yes, Leader.
Mr. Speaker, just an observation to the responses given by the Minister. Mr. Speaker, you may recollect that when the honourable member for Yellow Problem asked his questions, Dr. Albert Tete Nyakute, when he asked his questions, the Minister was saying to us that he has really responded to the question earlier on. Then to the question of Mr. Francis Safie Kojusosu, the first one, 1800, question 1800. The Minister went at length to refer us to the questions about the same question that he responded to on February 2020, March 2022, June 2022, November 2022. The Speaker, this is not supposed to be, because you are, the Speaker is the authority, the sole authority responsible for the admissibility of questions. When these are done, the Speaker, when this is done by you, the Speaker, or by right among Speaker, the class at table are supposed to keep a record of all these questions that are asked and responded to. So if the Speaker admits a question, they are supposed to benchmark it against that book in which they have the questions that have been responded to by the Minister. So they will not ferry same questions or similar questions to the Ministers. The Speaker, our orders so provide in Order 67(1)(c), Order 67(1)(c), if I may. That questions must comply with the following conditions. It says, no question shall be asked which raises an issue already decided or which has been answered substantially during the current session. So during the session, the question has been asked of the minister and responded to. It should not be repeated, because these things are done to the embarrassment of the House, the minister, and indeed the speaker, who might have admitted the question without maybe remembering that he has already admitted a similar question. So I would entreat the class at table. As I said, once the question is admitted by the speaker, they should look at their own records so that these things are prevented. The speaker, again, 66, order 66, 1(3) also provides that the speaker, whereas the speaker is the sole judge of the admissibility of a question. 3 says there shall be a questions record book to be kept by the clerk, which shall be open to inspection by members, the speaker, and then it lists what ought to be done by the clerks at table in this order, in this questions record book. So as I said, we prevent the occurrence of these matters. The speaker, thank you very much.
Very well. Leader, once you've brought this up, what about if the question has been asked in the previous session? Because per Article Order 67C, as you alluded to, the answer has been substantially, question has been substantially answered during the current session. So what about if it is the previous session? Can a member still ask questions relating to the same issues?
The speaker, there is a bit of a difficulty to that, because once the minister answers the question, it is part of our records, and then you know that Order 7 will tell you that questions should not be asked, the answers of which are in official documents. And our own hands are, it's an official document.
Yeah.
So even if it's in the previous session, you should know that because the answer is in official document, you shouldn't go there again. Mr. Speaker, thank you.
Well, people are having different view. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Leader, let me. I am closing the chapter. So, Honorable,
once I agree with the majority leader. If I'm minister and I've provided the answer already, and the speaker admits, nothing prevents me from writing back to the speaker to inform the speaker that I've already provided the answer. I'm sure that can also cure it.
Well,
thank you.
Yes,
Mr. Speaker, the majority leader is absolutely right when he says that our order 67(1)F suggests 67(1)H provides that questions that have been answered in this house already should not find place being asked again. But Mr. Speaker, this is the reality. The minister has never answered any of those questions. The minister is basically saying that it is not possible to provide answers to the questions, including myself asking at the point in time, as to which state lands have been transferred to private individuals or entities. And he says that he set up a committee to look at it. Mr. Speaker, it's an absurdity that Parliament is told that since the year 2000, we do not have a record for even 1 year of state lands that have been transferred to individuals and entities. And the minister is saying that until his committee works on a 20-year gap, he cannot even answer the question for even 1 year. Mr. Speaker, that is not an answer that House should have been accepted. It's not acceptable. There's a record in his office that will suggest that between year A and year B, this state land, in fact, what about the cathedral, the site of the cathedral? Some individual own land there. You transferred it. Why can't you tell us those lands? I see this answer as a rebuke of Parliament to suggest that members of Parliament are barred from asking certain questions should not be accepted in this House, Mr. Speaker. The minister must find space and answer the questions. To suggest that he's answered this question is not true. He's never answered this question in this House.
Did he say he has answered the question? He said the question has been asked, and it has not even been asked just one time. It has been asked about 2 or 3 several period, and there's a committee getting the answers right. So we have to give him, the minister's time. I don't think he has not answered the question. I mean, leader, I would like to plead with members to indulge me to bring proceedings to a close. I have to attend to some emergency. So if leadership and the entire House will agree with me, I'll bring proceedings to a close. Yes, leader.
Speaker, we want to commend you for the sacrifice made, and having regard to the time, also move the House to adjourn to tomorrow 10 o'clock in the forenoon. Speaker, I so move.
Speaker, I second the motion for adjournment.
Honourable members, the motion for adjournment to tomorrow 10 o'clock in the forenoon has been moved and it has been seconded. The question is, as many as are in favor of the motion, say aye. You are not responding to the motion to adjourn the House. All those in favor that the House adjourn to tomorrow 10 o'clock in the forenoon, say aye. All those against, say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The motion is adopted. The House is accordingly adjourned to tomorrow 10 o'clock in the forenoon. I thank you very, very much for your cooperation. The House stands adjourned.
Welcome to the Ghana ICT Hub, a partnership between MTN Ghana and the Government of Ghana through the Ministry of Communications and Digitization. MTN pledged to support Ghana's digitization agenda in line with its ambition to lead the delivery of digital solutions for Africa's progress. In fulfillment of this pledge, MTN Ghana has committed $25 million toward the realization of the Ghana ICT Hub project. The objectives of the Ghana ICT Hub project is anchored on the following: to create an ICT-enabled environment for human capital and ICT skills development, to develop an ICT ecosystem through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development, to provide a modern, state-of-the-art physical infrastructure to serve as a pillar for the digital Ghana agenda. The physical infrastructure, when completed, will provide 4,000 square meters of space with the following facilities: laboratories for technology training and research, innovation hub, co-working spaces for tech innovation startups, Tier 3 data center, conferencing facilities, offices and meeting rooms, commercial lettable spaces, gaming area, restaurant, ancillary facilities. The technology laboratories will be fitted with the next generation ICT equipment and applications to provide the youth of Ghana with practical training in Industry 4.0 technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, cloud computing, 3D printing, robotics, Internet of Things, IoT, advanced manufacturing techniques, cybersecurity, genetic engineering. The project also seeks to establish a complete ecosystem at the hub through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development. The ecosystem shall comprise of MDAs, technology companies, startups, incubators, research agencies, leading universities globally, foundations worldwide, to create a community. 1. The ecosystem community shall bridge the divide between academia and industry and provide solutions to challenges in the key sectors of health, agriculture, and educational sectors of the economy. 2. It shall also run an innovation program providing mentoring and networking for the youth in tech startups. 3. The ecosystem community shall establish an innovation fund to support startups, research agencies, and other entities in the ecosystem. MTN Ghana and the Ministry of Communications and Digitization are championing the Ghana Digital Agenda for Ghana's development. Welcome to the digital age.
Go Ghana! Are you struggling to pay your huge rent advance? Do you wish to pay your rent on monthly basis? Then good news is here. The government of Ghana has introduced the National Rental Assistance Scheme to help Ghanaians, especially the youth, pay for their rent on a monthly basis. To qualify, an applicant must show proof of the following minimum requirements. Be a Ghanaian, possess a valid Ghana card. You must be an adult of 18 years and above, have a verifiable employment or earned income. To apply, visit www.nras.gov.gh. The scheme is currently operational in the following regions: Greater Accra Region, Ashanti Region, Eastern Region, Western Region, Bono East Region, and the Northern Region. For further inquiries, contact 0551 341 515 or 0550 408 879. National Rental Assistance Scheme, making renting accessible for all.
Sweetheart, be mindful of your health. Dear products Nadia Makeup, I welcome you to Sigma Health and Beauty. You can call us the Beauty Embassy. Who pursue beauty more revealed with quality makeup products. There is only one place. The Sigma Health and Beauty 2022 Ghana Makeup Awards Beauty Retail Business of the Year. Of course, we are the defending champions. World-class makeup brands and Quaniet on, you name it. Maybelline, Dark and Lovely, House of Tara, and many more. Your professionalism in the beauty industry is unmatchable. Brahmin the proper way of applying our products. Sigma Health and Beauty, Yewa Accra, Makola, Georgina Stores, and Rollins Park, Gate 4. Fryer 0248 138 596 and 0201 408 186. Or visit our online shop at www.beautyavenuegh.com. Sigma, your beauty, our joy.
I want you so bad, Alpha Cracker. I want you. I wanna say yes, I can't resist. I want you. Ooh, I want you, Alpha Cracker. I want you so bad, Alpha Cracker. Don't me call one casa.
Alpha goodness rich in milk and butter. In Alpha Cracker. Yummy and deliciously crunchy.
But I can't resist you.
Alpha Crackers. Simply irresistible.
This advert is FDA approved.
Everyone needs the perfect snack to munch on during a fun moment. Wow. Enjoy the tasty McBerry Twist cupcakes, deliciously baked and packaged for a sweet treat. Premium quality cakes baked with love for all, enriched in butter and milk. Yummy! Oh, McBerry Twist cupcakes, simply irresistible. Try one today.
This advert is FDA approved.
On the 1st of May, as I tried to stop the bulldozer going here, I was punched and kicked. So I was physically abused.
Continuously, issues of land grabbing and other bigger issues around who owns what or not when it comes to lands are big issues here in Ghana. We are at the airport residential area. I'm here to speak with the son of the owner of a property that has recently come into the news because some persons have been trying to reclaim this land under the pretext that they are the original owners. My name is Eche Atisu, and this is Say Loud on GhanaWeb TV. We speak with Richard Ishen. Hi, Mr. Richard.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for coming.
Thanks as well for having us. I hope you're doing well.
We are hanging in there.
Okay. All right, so we want to just delve right into the conversation. I would like to take a walk onto your property while we do that. So, first of all, I want to understand who owns this property?
This property was acquired by my father, who died 2 years ago, Isaac Ishen, from a company he worked with called Pioneer Tobacco Company.
Okay.
Our family has been on this land continuously for about 50 years.
50?
Yes.
Okay. And you have lived here all your life, would you say?
No, while I was outside the country, I wasn't here. But I have lived here by myself for the last 16 years.
16?
Yes, 16
okay.
years.
All right.
But my parents were here before me.
Okay. Now, I'd like to just understand exactly what your father did. You tell me your father is late?
Yes. October 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what did your father do?
For a living?
Yes.
He, at the very end of his career at Pioneer Tobacco, he was a director of the company, an executive director, focusing on public relations and matters like that.
Okay. All right. And so your father acquired this land. You grew up on this property. Is that it?
Not accurate. I wasn't here for most of that time.
Okay.
But the whole rest of the family grew up on this property, and they have lived here continuously for that period of time.
Okay, so this is in a prime area, like we mentioned. This is airport residential area. How big or not is this land?
This plot is about 1.4 acres.
Okay, all right. Now let's now get into the issues of what's happening now. What happened to your building as we see it? It's completely to the ground now.
Yeah.
What is the issue surrounding this property and this land in particular?
Okay. I want to start off by saying that there is no confusion at the Lands Commission as to who owns this property. However, somebody went to a court in Tema.
Okay.
And met a judge in Tema who gave them the right to possess this property as a default judgment. We were not informed, and I think that was deliberate. We were not informed of the case in Tema because that's the plan, that we don't know, so they can get the default judgment from that judge and then use it as a sledgehammer to abuse the rightful owners of this land. I don't know if you are curious about the story they tell in their documents to the court in Tema.
What does that say?
Okay. They claim that 40 years ago, in 1983, a man called Maxwell in Tim bought this property from my father. At a meeting at the police station, the police headquarters, they were asked, do you know who this Mr. Tim is? Do you know where he is? Do you know if he's alive or dead? They said no, they have no idea who that is.
But do you know any Michael in Tim?
No, there is probably no such person. They claim that in 1995, an uncle of theirs, who is sometimes represented as in the U.S. or sometimes in Canada, called Coomson, bought this property from Maxwell and Tim. Mr. Coomson never met my father or did anything with my father, but he bought it from somebody who claimed to have bought it from my father 40 years ago. And it is on the basis of that. Oh, of course, they lied in their documents that are saying that they live here and they've lived here all this time. That is not true either. So it is on basis of that that the judge in Tema decided that they had a right to possess this property.
Now let's just situate this properly, because we are within the Accra area, and you're speaking about a court from Tema.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
I am not aware of exactly how it works. I'm not a lawyer, but I would have thought that an Accra court would have some jurisdiction over this property. I don't know how it works. I don't know whether you can get up from airport and go and file a case in Koforidua and claim that, well, I don't know how that works.
I see. Now, so exactly when did these persons get onto your property, this property, and then cause this devastation? Was it just in one day?
Okay, the original appearance here with the bailiff from the court in Tema was on March the 23rd, the 24th of March this year, 2023. Between that day and the end of April, they came here on numerous occasions, more than 5 times, to do damage.
This is between what period?
After the 24th of March this year and before the 1st of May. The 1st of May is when they brought the bulldozer to bulldoze this whole house while all our properties and records were in the building. I don't know what the purpose of that was, but clearly an attempt to cause maximum damage or intimidate us.
Richard, I just want to find out, how did a bulldozer get onto your property when there was a gate at the entrance?
Okay, the first thing that happens every time we get in trouble here is this. We had hired a couple of people to secure this property after being attacked repeatedly. On the morning of the 1st of May, a number of police officers from the regional police, CTU, arrived here.
Counter-terrorism unit? That's CTU?
I don't know what CTU means. Their claim was this, that they had been told that this place had numerous 30 or so land guards causing trouble here, and they were here to arrest them. They walked through the property and didn't see a single person except 2 of my carpenters helping me put up doors that they had broken. As the police officers left, they opened the door and these people rushed in. The group that came on the 1st of May was involved about 30 land guards on motorcycles, including other people in cars. There were numerous, over 50 people on this property doing this damage. And it was only after about an hour or so of the damage that the bulldozer arrived to do the last few things. What you have to understand about these people is that they're thieves. They steal things. In the time since the 2nd of March, they have stolen money, thousands of dollars. They've stolen laptops. They've stolen everything of value in this house was stolen by these criminals. So it is not simply somebody trying to acquire, well, they don't own this land. There appears to be this cabal of land snatchers that can get judgments on your blind side and use that as a sledgehammer to try and force you to give them the property. We don't intend to go anywhere. Lands Commission records will show that we have a lease on this property, and they have recently extended that lease for another 50 years.
So the initial lease was supposed to end when?
The one that last one my father got ends in 2028. Okay. But you can go to the Lands Commission and give the balance back and get a fresh lease, which is what we've done, and we've gotten written documentation from the Lands Commission that they have accepted our request to do that and agreed to give us the extension. But before that, we still had a lease that expired in 2028, that is 5 years from now. One of the things that is interesting to note is the impunity with which these guys operate. On the day they were here using a bulldozer to break this, there were police officers here.
Uniformed men?
Yes. We had gone to the airport police to report what was going on here. They sent with us 4 armed, a patrol team with 4 officers armed. Those officers were here as I begged them to stop these guys from bringing the bulldozer in and doing this damage. They were on their phones talking to somebody who probably told them, no, leave them alone, let them do what they want to do. In any case, having 4 armed airport police officers did nothing. Probably even encouraged these people because they could see that the police were on their side or whatever that means. In any case, there have been numerous cases where we've arrested, people, some of them have been arrested here, taken to the airport police station and just released.
Is this before all of this chaos started this year?
All of this is after they came here on the 24th of March saying the property was now theirs.
So it's been a continuous thing
for the last month or 6 weeks or so. Yes, we have been under tremendous abuse and the police have done nothing. We go there, we've paid what we needed to pay and that didn't help anything. As we stand here, if something happens here, we can't call the police because they're not going to do anything. They either don't care or whatever else it is, but they have never done anything to help protect us in this property.
You mentioned that you've undergone abuse. Have you personally been?
I have. On the 1st of May, as I tried to stop the bulldozer going here, I was punched and kicked. So I was physically abused.
Who actually did that?
Well, there were about a total of about 30 land guards plus other people here. But what is actually important is that there were police officers standing a few feet from me as I was kicked and punched. And I told them, you see what's going on? They did nothing about that. I don't understand how even assault. I'm 68 years old. I'm not a young man. But being assaulted in my own house, and the police stood there and did nothing. So there has been a lot of violence in this place. And everything you have to do without the police because they're useless.
We'll get back to this conversation. I think that we're getting deeper into it. But let's just take a quick break. When we return, we'll get back to the conversation with Richard here at the airport residential area.
People got sending me sick from Lebanon Finance while Brian did the shit.
We're still here with a 68-year-old Richard Ishen. He's the son of a property owner here at the airport residential area. Richard, before we went on that break, you spoke about the things you had done. Interestingly, you had even gone ahead to make certain efforts to get the police on your side. Can you give us more details into that?
Yeah. On one particular, very often when the police came here, the people had done damage and left. On one particular instance, they were able to arrest a total of about 8 people on the property during this damage. We were all taken to the airport police station where I gave my statement. So I was the complainant.
Okay.
They were interviewed and statements were taken from them. The police did nothing with that information. More interesting is that even as a complainant, we were asked to pay money, a lot of money.
When you say a lot, can we put a number to it?
30,000 Ghana cedis.
So you paid this to who?
By that you mean, whose hand did I put it in?
Well, did you give this to the police?
Yes, to the police.
Was there any official documentation to show that you were paying this amount for such and such?
No.
But what was the money for?
The understanding me and my lawyer had was this, that to prosecute the case or to do whatever had to be done, we needed to make that contribution. However, having made that contribution, we left the police station only to find out that the people were released that same night. Maybe they made a bigger contribution. I don't know.
Well, you call this contribution more or less a mild way of calling this. Was this some form of a bribe? Was a contribution? How is that contribution? To what cause?
Was it a bribe? Let me talk about bribe. When I say I paid a bribe, I'm trying to get somebody to do something that they're not supposed to do. We were asked to pay the money. I think we were extorted. I think it was extortion.
Okay.
Because if we didn't pay, clearly the criminals were going to walk. But we paid it, and the criminals walked.
That means even the money was paid,
yes,
yet nothing was done.
That is correct. We can only speculate to see ask whether they paid more, or whether there were powerful people involved in that. But we've heard stories that there are powerful people, some in Flagstaff House, who are interested in this plot. This is a juicy plot. It's in a very good part of town. It's a corner lot. Right next door is Enterprise Insurance. I wasn't here, but I was told that they had inquired in the past about acquiring this property or expanding into this property.
You're referring to Enterprise?
Enterprise Insurance. That's
okay.
The guest house right next there.
Right.
We've heard names of other senior people in Flagstaff House who they say are the guy. The face of this side is the face of this fight is a guy called Anani Daniels, who is an illiterate. The people behind him are very, very powerful because they can make phone calls and stop the police from doing anything.
Who is this Anani guy you mentioned?
He's a guy who claims to have a power of attorney for his uncle, who nobody asked about, who was in Canada before and is in the US and is in Canada. The guy who supposedly bought this property from another man in 1995. So Anani Daniels is has a local power of attorney, and it is with that he's working. He works with a very guy who I have heard may be a police officer whose name is Kweku Adi. And these guys are the team with their powerful friends that we've had to confront all this time.
This sounds like a cabal or group of persons who you create an impression are trying to take over this property. Is that what it seems like? And I want to understand why you're so convinced that some of the people who are behind this might be high up in political circles.
I believe that there is a cabal of land snatchers in Accra now. I believe that everybody knows that this property does not belong to Anani Daniels. Anani Daniels himself does not claim that he bought this himself. He says his uncle in the US. In all our meetings with police, I have never heard anybody asking, what is your uncle's phone number, or who is this guy who you say owns it, who sends you on this mission to destroy? Several people have indicated to us that they know people in the highest places in government who have an interest in this property. In fact, after this property was destroyed, some people arrived here for a visit, a walkthrough, and though you can't be sure what they say, they indicated that they were from Flagstaff House. That's what they told me. Okay. They may have been lying, but that is what they told me. I think that they're representatives of the real people behind this fight that we have on our hands.
Now the case is in court, is that right?
In many ways, right. The judge in Tema affirmed his decision to give this piece of land to Anani Daniels and his friends. We have served notice, and that was last Friday, which was the 5th, 6th, 7th, the 5th of May.
Okay.
On that same day, we filed notice of an appeal, and we also filed for a stay of execution until the appeal is heard. But we're expecting them any day now. They come here whenever they feel like, and there's no policeman to call when there is. The funny thing I think I want to put on record is this. In many, many cases, the police have come ahead of Anani Daniels to clear the way for him. I have a licensed shotgun, and I informed the police of that. They came here and took my weapon from me. That same night was the most brutal attack from these guys, where they pulled the roof off, etc. If I had my weapon, I don't think they would have come in here. Well, not with that kind of attitude that they came in here. So, but the police to today still have my weapon. That weapon is a fully registered weapon from Nima Police Station. And if they want to know if it's legal, they can just call their friends at Nima Police Station. But they are keeping my weapon, as of today, for over a month. And I believe that is part of the way they try to make it easy for these cabal and these criminals to do what they have to do.
You mentioned earlier that you now live here for about 16 years?
Yes, that's correct.
Now that the place has been brought down, it's completely destroyed.
That is correct.
I see workers around. How are you still living on this property?
I am here most of the day, but I don't sleep here.
Okay. So what's the way forward now? Workers are around. I see they're trying to. Is this salvage? Are you trying to rebuild? What exactly are you trying to do?
At this stage, it's more of a salvage effort. We need to remove the roofing so that the bulldozer can remove the things and put it there on the other side. So at this stage, it's more of a salvage. The reason we have to do it is that they broke the house with all our property in it. So looking for even our IDs and wallets and stuff has been a week-long project. Every day we find something that is important that we needed. They intended to do as much damage as possible.
All right. Now, there's no trust in the police. You have suspicions of people high up in political circles. What is the next step? What are you trying to do? I mean, what are you doing actually to ensure that this property continues to stay in your name? Just like you've mentioned, the Lands Commission has records that this land is even in your family's name for another 50 years after 2028. What's the way forward?
We have naively attempted to think that the courts will sort this out. And we are still in the court and taking every step. But everybody I meet tells me that everybody you're talking to knows the land doesn't belong to these people, and that maybe you should see if you can get some powerful friends of your own. So well, this sort of thing helps because it tells people the story. And if there are any powerful men out there who want to do something noble, they can come in here and help us with this fight, because this is not it is sad to think that in Ghana in this day and age it doesn't matter whether you're right or wrong. People will use brute force, and the police cannot help you in that struggle.
All right. Now your father is late.
Yeah.
Do you mind me asking where your mother is?
My mother passed about,
okay, before your dad?
Yes, about 8 years before my dad. Yeah, and she died in this house. Yes.
All right. So and you have siblings?
I have 2 sisters and 1 brother.
Okay. All right. So now that it appears, are you returning to court anytime soon?
Sometime this month we are returning to court, but we're also intending to take a little of on the offensive. For all this property damage, Anani Daniels and Kweku Adi, etc., need to be held accountable. So I'm meeting with my lawyers to see if we can file like a 10 million CD lawsuit almost immediately, challenging their right. First of all, we are claiming that these are fraudsters, and everything they claim is based on that fraud. And I think that some court should have a chance to decide whether they should pay for the damage that they've done here and all the things that they've stolen here.
Mr. Shen, thank you very much for speaking with us. It was a short notice, but you've been able to speak to us about the issue here. So that's been the issue here at this property here at the airport residential area. We've just spoken with Mr. Richard Shen, who is a son of the actual owner of this property, Isaac Eshen of blessed memory. Well, that's been it for Say It Loud here on GhanaWeb TV. My name is Eche Atiso. Until another time, be safe.
Welcome to the Ghana ICT Hub, a partnership between MTN Ghana and the Government of Ghana through the Ministry of Communications and Digitization. MTN pledged to support Ghana's digitization agenda in line with its ambition to lead the delivery of digital solutions for Africa's progress. In fulfillment of this pledge, MTN Ghana has committed $25 million toward the realization of the Ghana ICT Hub project. The objectives of the Ghana ICT Hub project is anchored on the following: to create an ICT-enabled environment for human capital and ICT skills development, to develop an ICT ecosystem through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development, to provide a modern, state-of-the-art physical infrastructure to serve as a pillar for the digital Ghana agenda. The physical infrastructure, when completed, will provide 4,000 square meters of space with the following facilities: laboratories for technology training and research, innovation hub, co-working spaces for tech innovation startups, Tier 3 data center, conferencing facilities, offices and meeting rooms, commercial lettable spaces, gaming area, restaurant, ancillary facilities. The technology laboratories will be fitted with the next generation ICT equipment and applications to provide the youth of Ghana with practical training in Industry 4.0 technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, cloud computing, 3D printing, robotics, Internet of Things, IoT, advanced manufacturing techniques, cybersecurity, genetic engineering. The project also seeks to establish a complete ecosystem at the hub through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development. The ecosystem shall comprise of MDAs, technology companies, startups, incubators, research agencies, leading universities globally, foundations worldwide, to create a community. 1. The ecosystem community shall bridge the divide between academia and industry and provide solutions to challenges in the key sectors of health, agriculture, and educational sectors of the economy. 2. It shall also run an innovation program providing mentoring and networking for the youth in tech startups. 3. The ecosystem community shall establish an innovation fund to support startups, research agencies, and other entities in the ecosystem. MTN Ghana and the Ministry of Communications and Digitization are championing the Ghana digital agenda for Ghana's development. Welcome to the digital age.
Somebody's on the label to work is work. You understand? Don't see it as the label is giving you the platform or the opportunity. You are there to work, because when the money starts coming, the label is going to take their cut. You get it? So it's not any adum now BL. Why would you make bangers and then you're hungry? No, let's be honest. Like, how much are you spending on your single? And then now you have to go spend some. Even some of the labels are suffering in Ghana. You understand? Like, some just have the name and they are not really doing much.
What is the craziest rumor you've heard about yourself?
Oh, I heard I was gay. Yeah. I heard I was gay. That was like when I started I started music.
Go Ghana! Are you struggling to pay your huge rent advance? Do you wish to pay your rent on monthly basis? Then good news is here. The government of Ghana has introduced the National Rental Assistance Scheme to help Ghanaians, especially the youth, pay for their rent on a monthly basis. To qualify, an applicant must show proof of the following minimum requirements. Be a Ghanaian, possess a valid Ghana card. You must be an adult of 18 years and above, have a verifiable employment or earned income. To apply, visit www.nras.gov.gh. The scheme is currently operational in the following regions: Greater Accra Region, Ashanti Region, Eastern Region, Western Region, Bono East Region, and the Northern Region. For further inquiries, contact 0551 341 515 or 0550 408 879. National Rental Assistance Scheme, making renting accessible for all.
Sweetheart, be mindful of your health. Idea Products Nadia Makeup. I welcome you to Sigma Health and Beauty. You can call us the Beauty Embassy. We pursue beauty more revealed with quality makeup products. There is only one place. The Sigma Health and Beauty 2022 Ghana Makeup Awards Beauty Retail Business of the Year. Of course, we are the defending champions. World-class makeup brands and on you name it. Maybelline, Dark and Lovely, House of Tara, and many more. Your professionalism in the beauty industry is unmatchable. The proper way of applying our products. Sigma Health and Beauty, Yewa Accra, Makola, Georgina Stores, and Rollins Park, Gate 4. Fryer in 0248 138 596 and 0201 408 186. Or visit our online shop at www.beautyavenuegh.com. Sigma, your beauty, our joy.
I want you so bad, alpha cracker. I want you. I wanna say yes, I can't resist. I want you. Ooh, I want you, alpha cracker. I want you so bad, alpha cracker.
Alpha goodness rich in milk and butter. In Alpha Cracker, yummy and deliciously crunchy.
But I can't resist you.
Alpha Crackers, simply irresistible.
This advert is FDA approved.
Everyone needs the perfect snack to munch on during a fun moment.
Wow. Enjoy the tasty McBerry Twist cupcakes, deliciously baked and packaged for a sweet treat.
Premium quality cakes baked with love for all, enriched in butter and milk.
Yummy.
Oh, McBerry Twist cupcakes, simply irresistible. Try one today.
This advert is FDA approved.
Now,
Susu sang pine beer one ton and be a man in quite baby.
Mommy, you fish can see my cotoso. Pepoga, send me sika from Lemonade Finance. While Brian did the shade and let me £10.
Lemonade Finance.
Say they sending money back home from UK, Canada, and now US. I accepted a instant charges. Exchange waiting in Suya. Unbeatable. We should make promo code Dr. Like £10, $10, and $10 Canadian for the first transaction. With this Sunday cigar coffee, download to Lemonade Finance.
Wedding wending ko
ya can full protection she obrana ese school ko tin social bar learn your lesson pass
yeah na makoku anya ta sikala she no ta
With us, you're still watching the forum on GhanaWeb TV. My name is Abrantipa, and we have 2 talents joining us, Mandem, Your Pick, and then Kwesi Boat. So, mehu omu videos be, and actually I was so much impressed, and I realized that Charlie, I see a man who say yes, I'm on for a year, Juma. We didn't come home Kwesi Boat today. Na on my lines be bas or say. And Chineka will do anymore, made me matem. You know, be me put insult. I tell you insult. And then Chine no one send me a can. No, sama Charlie. My SR lines needs. My SR lines needs.
And Chineka will do anymore, made me matem. You know, be me put insult. What said do? One of myself I join to home, take a shot at thought. You do me first, second, third, may you back 1 hour, why fourth? So much yana mo kan mo bua so mo de ane de you don't talk, but sometimes yana appear one asem ne kire mo don't mo kan kwa asem and so say o mo da ne agudie be hye bo ase kura we no go mind them ye mo adi no wondi nko ya can full protection hwe obra na ese school ko tin social bar learn your lesson pass
Charlie, bas.
Some bas will be dedicated to Nana Brown. Don't just say Charlie, serious bas. Oh, actually in recent times, I miss the old Sarkodie. Yeah, I miss the old D crime. I miss the old Bebon fly, the old tomboy. Like me catch us right? They are rusted. Meaning say won't say a come and a hustle. A man dream beyond the limits. Yeah. Indeed, not bus, no air, but in recent times, I say, hook now, that death, and I said, deep thoughts that I who rap on. Now, back. I just almost take it time. I had the real project. I don't know most of the key rap, and I say I one way. Until now, Grafo, that's a few Brafo, yeah, because they give you reason to think deep, and this. Rap, Charlie.
Yes. Now, Mandem, your pick. On also me too, but on the phone call, right? Sure. Now, no, I don't for no way.
Mandem, nana, yeah.
Ah, yes, I line there.
Why is it in Copy Samson? And where now, ne papa London. Ada ne papa mansion. Kokua win a mante. There be Koku Samson, a better move boy. Ah, you be true at the talk. Kokude na kuma na kodi yodo.
Pamana je
ya bu motu atele. Ya, pamana je ta. Se oni ya bu motu atele. Obetwa mo bi aboje ne so yeye. An saga no kwera maso ne pe. Wachu kokwedi ate na kuma se ite. Koku se ne ge yo de fans. Se ge ne so boys be 5. Koku Samson kwera na ye last. E no na TikTok ge na posting ne guy. Obeware ya ma Koku Samson ayare. Wa bodam se ya adwena touch. Se de ye Koku na ma na okasa. Okasa basa didi chaka. Ya bo mu achere Samson mafia. Na onim de ma Koku ti bompa. Ge na ma Koku anya ta. Sikala she no ta.
Sally. You guys are good. So, your pick. How did the journey begin for you? How did you decide to do music?
Okay, Mandem your pick free. Sefioso. Krokitwa bi was Sefioso a friend Amafi. A hone o me nyinu ho kakana. Me ba yoso. So music dey started school time. Me we JHS no na. Na me transfer credit transfer school na me woni mu so mete say obi di sehwi yenwum sehwi kasa no no mo de yenwum ba na nya rap like I mean hardcore rap yeah so mete ya no na me be pay sehwi na wo de rap no that was Kwabna Lighter. Shouts to Kwabna Lighter. Yeah, until from there I mean so me started say okay me imitate no yeah, me ye do ye ni bi. Ahanti. Me na mfo ne ba na asem a twere rap na me de ma to a kire oh boy we are there koso yeah. So from there and I me call SHS. Me call SHS na me science so me put stop to music no. Kaka yeah. Until after SHS that was 2018 and me bounce back to music. So from 2018 I me started
music, me share studio and kasa. Yeah, but before then I freestyle. Yeah, so from then on to this time now, yeah, music sir and I'm
you can describe your journey now so far. How would you describe your journey? Okay,
easy sir, easy sir, but nyamiadum sisia de kakaka koso. One say your side of baby I one TV station, radio station, square endorse sir. Yeah. In fact, so we nyum ni wie kra amanfo beton kan and na me fan say for me no na social media no me madwin course so on so ema na enyum no ye bre on on obey enyum na wie mpo ba like enko bebia on but for now social media no eboa no eno na ye de adwin asiso a ye
Kwesi also story it saying
the story na dey Bensi ya wumi kumase. Me frɛ Janosu be Kwai road ne so sa. Na me sakra okay na me na na nti me wo be 12 years no. Na me ma me ne me stepdad no akra no mo be fa me be come ho ha. Okay. O puko ase. Ba me bedru ya me tena make us in Binchen or Santa Maria. Nti ho na me wie SHS. That was in 2011. And I'm wie SHS me kwa Accra Academy. And from that time ni nyina me go school ni nyina na fe na sa akode ne ya po no mo kra fe na 2007 na Kasahari money battles ni nyoma so I was following from that time. And I'm so me started cemetery nyoma until me started from 2011. Yeah. I'm be training kwala so talented case kakra but 2020 and I'm say okay. I've been in the system for a while but be let me put myself out there into me call MTN hitmaker. I was the only rapper out of 12 contestants no. And I couldn't win though but me do enim kakra. After that, the journey has been me and Rich Style Records label. I mean, I'm more hosts here. Shout out to Cola Beats. After that, he saw the talent in me and decided, say, "Oh, but me with himself for 10." So yeah, me know man, the other do her. Actually, the other me do her. See, it's not. And yes, it's simple. Me try. I wrote it somewhere around 2021.
Oh,
yeah.
2 years ago.
Yeah. I wrote this 2 years ago and. I feel and I mean who said it's about time I made it to a man for I have a lot of works that I want to put out.
And today na mu abema etimiama otimi still na usujina because any okan wo shase ache oni papa we shase papa we ansa na Kasahari edi a oboboni nyina woni momo bembon fly ni ba ko ni dey say yo ono mu nyina sign so ache
yeah
those days I do my FM Kasahari levels yeah.
I think say me nan for a baby no. Any cranshaw me demand me every time. Time be a metro be baby and they didn't have any negative thing against it. Like sometimes I me say that e to chira me say o mo be chira me say anka hanu ye ni say but me the many time me anything and so I came to the conclusion say okay then I'm good at it.
Yeah.
It in my bemu boy me and my ha me ho because he say aduma ni ho but me hwe ni ye bet me abe aduma kese a me so me inside me afofro so yeah. And one I see me crying and go so and kakran and GhanaWeb after so I think yeah.
Uba na also ni your pick. I am winsia ni da.
I believe in God's timing. Many your pick one through Cola. I've never seen your pick before. So recently na me who say he's trending. I was like, wow. That means God puts us in positions. I mean, and when I look at it, my circle of friends now, we started way back now. Even Ameuga, we were together at Cole's place. Since he's all over, so big, and I'm so happy for him. Anna, medical who your picks. I was like, yeah, this is the guy. And then one. I think some weeks later, I'm who said, "So me, I'm a Daniel, and me call TikTok. I'm say, whoa." So this is my first time meeting by one. Yeah.
That was last year.
Yeah.
Last year.
Really simple.
Hey. Anna, for 1 year, Munshia.
We've never met. We've never even spoken on phone. We've never texted.
So you went and did your verse.
I was just there when Kola called said, "Oh, this boy, like, was sending track, you know." Me cut ni main trombra and when Kola speaks so I just had to write and quickly go record and they said
everyone needs the perfect snack to munch on during a fun moment.
Wow. Enjoy the tasty McBerry Twist cupcake, deliciously baked and packaged for a sweet treat. Premium quality cakes baked with love for all, enriched in butter and milk. Yummy. Oh, McBerry Twist cupcakes, simply irresistible. Try one today. This advert is FDA approved.
Is it feeling it to say, because I see people share your stuff, feeling it to say. I
mean, I wish people will go through what I'm going through now. Like people will live to see this day when they see their dreams coming true. Because to have a song with Ubia means the first time seeing his face, me when the picture was when I saw his video. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. And they said, and this is the first time we are meeting. So, that's the way I see
So like you
nice. More because I see your works.
Yeah, what's coming there? But sometimes me next freestyle may release say anytime I do it, I feel it within, so it will have a great impact. So people should watch out. Yeah.
Romeo, I mean you, we are talent manager. We are event organizer. Only artists be brand until. Honestly, Romeo, I need to profile Romeo on this show. I need to profile Romeo on this show. Hey, Romeo, I mean you.
Over the years, I really do so I'm the boy we are back.
Yeah.
I usually don't take interest in Sylvia the Obenya no man be. That be by FSA. Maybe I also break it through. Now I'm submitting change and I'm proud say. And then say me boss homeboy din, me boss akodi din, me body crime din. You're the immigration officer. They won't fly there, me never be on it now. Under I'm on Sanchez. No so can boys no R2Bs.
Yeah.
But and then me feel proud, baby. Obi am me flower, but me feel say me so Miami there. And I'm not giving up. Yeah. Still, me promote young artists who are Nkoko make sombra, baby or better. We need transportation, my take care of. Me didn't much show na say or pushing one, not on baby. I don't want anything out of it. Because FSA and humanitarian will be obey yet and obey young fast war. But sometimes the shame crying they say people will remember that this guy was once Ntina amount that kind of fulfillment. I don't know society am my but me TM story and say you've all come from like far places and through your experiences and I'm the drew. Yes. Obi anye Jagaban or rap space way. Once umreswan ube rainy. That's why I sometimes will be me feel say munja de pano non rainy. Now at the end of the day a bit better no the hour and rainy. Maybe I do rainy better 10 years ago but so be a rainy man in engineering and I'm happy say munina more and young boom. Monka a bolini regizipi. Ubiya na ne bibi. You may give the bride, baby a sorry, and then UK, big things. Sa synergy na in new industry no for share groups in the bregu. Apart from Kecheni, 1 or 2 groups be. There can go. Say Nyambaska. This a mobile bibi abuma. Mumfa bibisha say we are more journey 10 years. Say time no sooner say we be a say okon baby more unti that. But one chance say be I hot now for expect say mobile can boom no na sike bia na baby nti no my then mocha. And art na my and mama sesano. Young quade because of storytelling. Most of the releases are 8 you know. And people are so much in love because freaking art. Those who are into storytelling, they win the hearts of people. If you do rap, now you storytelling now. So try and then augment it. Good some better and TikTok, but mainstream no so. Did I see the more interviews no? What you say? DJ no born. Yes, sometimes payola no. Ni nyina na obetua. Wa ho brase tia come out. What you say? But because ebi amcrophobia sisi kwan nti no, ena ma ebi person mo gidi bi an sama yeden. No bo mo nyom. Ti mo ma ahobrase ni no kredi endi mo anim. Because niama met sisi ya no. Say me say entertainment. Me di be am catch amcrophobia say mo start this year. Mo hijack secondary schools no. O entertainment na university campuses. Omo no be pia ko club, omo no be pia ko events. Nti eni munyum deda. But who target mainstream at once? Who can afford to ho unya seat? And the moon grab a seat for secondary schools. No, dress design say be a koto. Say 20 secondary schools are to. Before maybe fear some maybe secondary school no. Unyum our TikTok. Omo the yeniama. And now who's doing now trend? Okay, free advice. And I'm there.
Thank you very much.
Martinez,
boss.
Thank you.
It's always refreshing to be new talent, especially artists are very deep when it comes to fashion coding. Artists are very deep when it comes to lyrics. Your pick particularly when video. I think some will cry. Yeah, my God, I started with the voice. And I really like it. Obi Sunday was a share talent. Where are they who online? And Misham's wow, that's creativity right there. A friend is saying that but from the Amazon, I mean, also did and from the Amate Charlie, they are super talented. They are really talented. And Michelle Crawford say, it tells her the future is bright for our music industry. It said they just have to be aggressive on the ground. At a point, the Black Sheriff of say, Eriaba, Wapima. They feel. I always tell people, say, Ghanaians, we are such types, say, oh, yeah, there. I just say, you pa. But I don't know. I have a question. You observe for a while to see, I didn't know you are really for it. It's a marketer. Wait to the product, I could be shop. But I tell you, be a boss. The town way say this. Obekasa, Obekasa and the Mude. Adechi. So when give you a alcohol, oh boss, say this is a you. The following day, most of the 4th day, Obekasa de back come contrary. Or J. Louis Low who say good, I found no befriend. Unlike a bimoa who approach you or more way, okay, and then my baby will contrary, but the typical Ghanaians, you know. It's like you would say, yeah, you are just passing through. It's unless you are consistent. I'm not saying say elsewhere if you are not consistent, I'll be blue. But the way I receive artists, sometimes artists they say, yeah, you giving the attention. Family, but you see, if I say you dig it, the more who flows out call you because it's like what beauty but with their experience anymore. Since who may be a Black Sheriff going through. So these guys, per the trends they've had on TikTok, it tells you say they are getting that recognition. See, Obo keep you on to be on their toes, like you be on your level, up on your game. You keep pushing. But over 2 years, just being creative and stylish, unique. More refreshing lines, and then the old or the usual lines that but refreshing. So people will keep mentioning Quade, Senna Rubio Caro. I mean Quade, in Casedo. Why? That time, bro, their lines were very refreshing. And then beat the quack and several and more that kind of excitement. But then I call more of vibe. So, but artists are able to be creative. Kakra lines, once you catchy phrase, some hooks to be on you. Then Black Sheriff, well, major the found till second symbol. No, not even second symbol. I think Kologuzogo. Yes, second symbol my pen you Kologuzogo the bar. Like me fall in love with the way pa. Say 1,000 sorry, the word we said 1,000 niggas for my neck. I mean, these are lines our boys relate. So we also talk about like it 5,000 or be a video or from an part to another. I have a patch or the pata or be a really street. It's about boys, no. About jelly towards that because I do used to like a refreshing line of my relative. But if it's all about this love, way, Sarah, and unless we are strategic and sort of watch a marathon, you must know your market. If you are coming for the women, then you go hard or long. If you are for the streets and so there, then you know how you deal with the boys. So, but whichever way, I believe the sky is the limit and the future is bright for you.
Right. Okay. So but some people say more can be there. If it's based on what they said, and as a social media following, and if there is a project that you want the people to know, be a person can be an I'm just saying question.
Yeah, we are said I'm a development. GhanaWeb panelists and what I see. It's not every day now. You have a food to see. Some of these, I do share that call agency be amount.
Yeah.
This kind of information. But in any free here, I said I'm a development. I'm saying to my fans or master TD me say send you starting now they love me for how deep I am. I'm not going to disappoint them. Works never no cry there. Or me doing home they wonder how I think. And I think it's not me, it's God, and the time is right, and, you know. Yeah, they should just expect massive works from me. Okay. It's a promise I'm making them.
Oh, social media handles now.
I see both everywhere. I see near KWACY, both near BOAT. On all platforms, Twitter, Instagram, baby, I see both.
You're big
man.
Mandem. I mean, okay, so we are wrapping up.
First of all, Medawase, Mada GhanaWeb. Phone nase crew ni nyina obia nyame hwe obia na madam big boss Ola Michael mechiano nyame shano pa yeah. So fans they should expect more from Mandem Yopic. Yaye Kwaku Samson part 1, yaye part 2. Say Kwaku Samson Abakra officer wa Abakra so they should expect Kwaku Samson in Accra soon. Yaye be drop Kwaku Samson in Accra and also omo expect Kwaku Samson vibe, you know. What I say? And social media platforms, you know, so Mandem Yopic, baby, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, so yeah, Mandem Yopic official. Yeah, so baby, follow and a streaming platform, you know, so Mandem Yopic, Ninyungu, nti obetumi follow me, baby, yeah.
Oh, you be a day.
Okay, so me will smile, me will no bad energy, me will micro judge, and we are session. Me will tracks, baby. Okay. Yeah, and Kwaku Samson tracks, so platforms now. So yeah.
Questions so you be a.
Okay, maybe the I'm a me trend a crack and maybe Pierre and that would you mark because a legend minimum. And I made fire and I made a rapper to say, no go until say, Mate and come our mammy go ahead. I don't need the mean to me family. But I have some works, me will jam, me will EMK near and family who cry. And yeah, all on Restore Records page and also YouTube.
Okay. All right, so that's Kwesi Boat and then Mandem Yopic. Now, Mubeja Kwayana.
Okay. Onyame oboduam po nipa kuni baboduam suru nipa sini duabo. Otan aduro ni odon so wanum ti odon ni trim na dwene mu ndo. Say yen ha ye humpo nchirim. Said your matini biam nkanko. Oh, ya we, but we know they watch. Time ne ba mbe hunu diabo. Timi dia na moko tokoto. Ohu mani man wa wo so the necessity ne kokko. Se boat and senki ya obekwa kwa ship na we madamfu. Yana mayu. Yana maye. Ya kan ya na meti. Yana mayu. Odi ede bia bumijin ejin edwe.
Yo big. Yes me pemba open koko. Open san me pe wo. Open fuo and I me pay to open the abin vein and me pay the abubo. Open 1, mama me 2. Obey me, I'll be set me a coup. I be a coup, but I bear me a 2. Bear my consabia away 2. Me more fair, yes, Mr. Ghana president. Me person me unity, me pay long life. Me person me to say JB, me pay down.
camera no charge. We say camera we see if you also see sa.
Obede pombe de suwa de bibi ba. Ya twensa obede amfa hwe ama. Rapaholic or the bibi ba. Or the America singer bi. Or the Justin Bieber.
Wow.
Okay. So that's Mandem your pick, and then Kwesi Boat gracing our screens today. Go and stream their songs, follow them on social media, and push them and support your talent. Ghana, and go for say so. So thank you so much for watching this episode of E-Forum on GhanaWeb TV. I have been on the show with Romeo McDonald Nanio Asari, aka Ambassador Romeo, is an event organizer, artist manager, Madina Social Welfare Assemblyman, and he is also a talent grooming manager. Miss Ghana for Nina any grooming on any patwa. Now me say me per se okay. Martinez I say view yeah, kind of back page. But send you uncle for body number near the Abaha, but oh dear, my main coming na Martinez, aka Baby Asoso. Martinez is a film producer and an entertainment pundit. Thank you so much for coming, gentlemen, and thank you for watching this episode of E-Forum on GhanaWeb TV. Thanks to my crew, Mr. Jaho, on this very one, Francis, and then Hazel, and to all the people who will be doing the editing. We'll meet again some other time with yet another riveting conversation. My name is Benefo Boabin Abrantipa.
Welcome to the Ghana ICT Hub, a partnership between MTN Ghana and the Government of Ghana through the Ministry of Communications and Digitization. MTN pledged to support Ghana's digitization agenda in line with its ambition to lead the delivery of digital solutions for Africa's progress. In fulfillment of this pledge, MTN Ghana has committed $25 million toward the realization of the Ghana ICT Hub project. The objectives of the Ghana ICT Hub project is anchored on the following: to create an ICT-enabled environment for human capital and ICT skills development, to develop an ICT ecosystem through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development, to provide a modern, state-of-the-art physical infrastructure to serve as a pillar for the digital Ghana agenda. The physical infrastructure, when completed, will provide 4,000 square meters of space with the following facilities: laboratories for technology training and research, innovation hub, co-working spaces for tech innovation startups, Tier 3 data center, conferencing facilities, offices and meeting rooms, commercial lettable spaces, gaming area, restaurant, ancillary facilities. The technology laboratories will be fitted with the next generation ICT equipment and applications to provide the youth of Ghana with practical training in Industry 4.0 technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, cloud computing, 3D printing, robotics, Internet of Things, IoT, advanced manufacturing techniques, cybersecurity, genetic engineering. The project also seeks to establish a complete ecosystem at the hub through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development. The ecosystem shall comprise of MDAs, technology companies, startups, incubators, research agencies, leading universities globally, foundations worldwide, to create a community. 1. The ecosystem community shall bridge the divide between academia and industry and provide solutions to challenges in the key sectors of health, agriculture, and educational sectors of the economy. 2. It shall also run an innovation program providing mentoring and networking for the youth in tech startups. 3. The ecosystem community shall establish an innovation fund to support startups, research agencies, and other entities in the ecosystem. MTN Ghana and the Ministry of Communications and Digitization are championing the Ghana Digital Agenda for Ghana's development. Welcome to the digital age.
Somebody's on the label to work is work. You understand? Don't see it as the label is giving you the platform or the opportunity. You are there to work, because when the money starts coming, the label is gonna take their cut. You get it? So it's not any adum now BL. Why would you make bangers and then you're hanging? No, let's be honest. Like, how much are you spending on your single? And then now you have to go spend some. Even some of the labels are suffering in Ghana. You understand? Like, some just have the name and they are not really doing much.
What is the craziest rumor you've heard about yourself?
Oh, I heard I was gay. Yeah. I heard I was gay. That was like when I started music.
Go Ghana! Are you struggling to pay your huge rent advance? Do you wish to pay your rent on monthly basis? Then good news is here. The government of Ghana has introduced the National Rental Assistance Scheme to help Ghanaians, especially the youth, pay for their rent on a monthly basis. To qualify, an applicant must show proof of the following minimum requirements. Be a Ghanaian, possess a valid Ghana card. You must be an adult of 18 years and above, have a verifiable employment or earned income. To apply, visit www.nras.gov.gh. The scheme is currently operational in the following regions: Greater Accra Region, Ashanti Region, Eastern Region, Western Region, Bono East Region, and the Northern Region. For further inquiries, contact 0551 341 515 or 0550 408 879. National Rental Assistance Scheme, making renting accessible for all.
Sweetheart, be mindful of your health. Idea Products Nadia Makeup. I welcome you to Sigma Health and Beauty. You can call us the Beauty Embassy. We pursue beauty more revealed with quality makeup products. There is only one place. The Sigma Health and Beauty 2022 Ghana Makeup Awards Beauty Retail Business of the Year. Of course, we are the defending champions. World-class makeup brands and Quaniet on, you name it. Maybelline, Dark and Lovely, House of Tara, and many more. Your professionalism in the beauty industry is unmatchable. The proper way of applying our products. Sigma Health and Beauty, Yewa Accra, Makwala, Georgina Stores, and Rollins Park, Gate 4. Fryer in 0248 138 596 and 0201 408 186. Or visit our online shop at www.beautyavenuegh.com. Sigma, your beauty, our joy.
I want you so bad, Alpha Cracker. I want you. I wanna say yes, I can't resist. I want you. Ooh, I want you, Alpha Cracker. I want you so bad, Alpha Cracker.
Alpha goodness rich in milk and butter. In Alpha Cracker, yummy and deliciously crunchy.
But I can't resist you.
Alpha Crackers, simply irresistible.
This advert is FDA approved.
Everyone needs the perfect snack to munch on during a fun moment.
Wow. Enjoy the tasty McBerry Twist cupcakes, deliciously baked and packaged for a sweet treat. Premium quality cakes baked with love for all, enriched in butter and milk. Yummy.
Oh, McBerry Twist cupcakes, simply irresistible. Try one today.
This advert is FDA approved.
Now,
Susu sang pine beer one ton and be a man in quite baby.
Mommy, you fish can see my cotoso. Pepoga, send me sick from Lemonade Finance. While Brian did the shade and let me £10.
Lemonade Finance.
Say, they're sending money back home from UK, Canada, and now US. I accepted a instant charges. Bien, extinguishing in Suya. Unbeatable. We should be promo code Dr. Like £10, $10, and $10 Canadian for the first transaction. With this Sunday cigar coffee, download to Lemonade Finance.
Prior to even our wedding, we discussed how long it would take for us to introduce a third person into the family.
I like that. Right there.
A lot of marriages collapse because of childlessness. Husbands, wives, mocked for what they term as their inability to have children. So I asked the question, are children the ultimate prize in marriages? So here on Moons and Cuddles, we discuss how to handle childlessness, and also in the cases where you find yourself in what they term as an unplanned pregnancy, how best do you handle the situation? And I have here with me the right guest to do the discussion. So Thomas Duke Labig Amankwado, he's a doctoral research fellow at the University of Oslo, Norway. Yes, and he's also a former University of Oxford scholar, and he is the author of historic fiction book, The Half Moon. And also, he's a coach. Thomas, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Paula.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
I'm honored to be here.
Yeah, he's very popular on Facebook, so you should check out all the amazing things that he does. We're not doing this alone. We also have Smart Techi Nixon. He's an author, a broadcast journalist, a public relations officer. So when we talk, event hosting, when you're looking for someone to train you in public speaking, when we talk about creative writing and anything that has got to do with stage play production, we say Smart Techi Nixon. Gentlemen, you're welcome.
Thank you, Paula.
Later on we're going to discuss all the amazing things that you do. That's why we call you the proud sons of the land, guys. So, but today is a big deal in our parts of the world where we find ourselves. And they say children are a gift from God, and when you don't have children in a marriage, trust me, they're going to come after you. So I just want to find out, are children the ultimate prize in marriage? Let me take it from you, Smart, since you are the married man.
Nice way to cut Duke some slack on this one. But interestingly, I think that one of the fascinating things that I've heard about marriage is a marriage without a child is still a marriage. And so if you're a couple and you're going into marriage, it is one of the things that you should have at the back of your mind, that a marriage without a child is still a marriage. It doesn't nullify the status of the marriage. Okay, and that is one of the things that people do not come to accept. Because if you take a look at our part of the world, and I'm quite glad that you mentioned our part of the world, when you marry an individual, you are marrying a family. You are not marrying just a person. So at the weddings, you see it manifest. You see expectations of people being projected on you. And after the marriage as well, you would hear these expectations. Because sometimes you would go and visit your in-laws, and some of them will pass very funny comments. Like, hey, it's been a year since you guys got married. What's happening? We all know the intent of that particular statement. It is an indirect way to tell you that you guys are really delaying when it comes to childbirth. And you hear these comments coming from the mothers especially. I want to hold my grandchild. I want to hold my grandchild. But on a broader spectrum, if you really want to take a look at childbirth and the importance of it in marriage, there are a lot of things that stops or prevents a couple from having a child. Let's even move away from the medical condition. I personally believe that there is nothing like there is this funny saying we have in Ghana. People tell you, oh, you just give birth, God will take care of it.
But I don't know how much baby food, pampers, diapers, all those things.
Precisely.
They have no idea.
Precisely.
But Smart, I'll come to you. Thomas, we know that family pressure can be very worse.
Yeah.
So how best can a couple handle an in-law who is always on your door knocking, when are the children going to come? When are the children going to come? And usually it's the women who suffer this. So as a loving husband, how best can you tame them?
Well, thank you very much for the question. And I'm not a loving husband yet, so it's a bit tricky. But that being said, I think that children are indeed a blessing to every couple. And when we look at this from a cultural perspective, from a cultural dimension, we would understand that it's not just about having a child for just having a child for that sake, but it is a way of sort of bringing the two families together in ways that probably would be impossible by just signing a document in court or exchanging vows. This sort of it carves this union between the two families in a very spectacular way, and that is why families always, place a lot of weight on children. But then again, you're not your own creator, and you sometimes it might. I mean, you try and you're not getting it. But how to handle this is a very tricky question that I don't think we can unravel, get to an answer. But what I can say is that it all comes down to understanding between the families. Why are we not having a child? Is there a medical explanation to this? Is there something we can do medically to improve our chances of getting a baby? If not, then what's the next best option to having a baby? I think that it comes down to just communication between the families and getting to find the best alternative.
Okay.
Yeah.
People place a lot of emphasis when it comes to, you mentioned the medical aspect of it, then you realize that other people are also putting a lot of pressure on the spiritual aspect of it.
Yes.
So, a couple finds themselves in a quagmire where someone says, okay, forget about the doctors, let's go and see this pastor. Yeah. I
Before
think that
you realize you've been all over the place.
Yeah.
But then I just want to find out, because I'm the woman, let me speak for the women.
Okay.
In a marriage where there's no kids, childlessness, the first person that people blame, the woman.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't have children. You're a barren woman. The list goes on and on. Why are people quick to, put the blame on women? Meanwhile, there are men who got low sperm count, impotent, if that's the word, it's not too hard. But then people are quick to do. Is it that the women love to take the blame because they don't know people know, oh, my husband, his performance is just, why?
Women are the bearers of life.
Okay.
Women are the bearers of life. Every life on this planet Earth came from a woman. Every single life. There is nothing that walks on the surface of this earth that didn't come from a woman. I mean, aside the man's contribution, it is the women that we see produce. It is the women we see deliver. It is the woman we are expecting to bring the child into the family. But what they forget is what you also pointed out, is that it's two people that put the woman in that particular condition before she can deliver. However, our families are designed in such a way that whenever people get married, at the end of the day, people have this mindset that, okay, the moment I am expecting something from your family or from the couple and I am not getting it, the first intent is to change the woman and not to change the man. The pressure is that, oh, she's not fertile enough. We should have done a background check on her family. We should have asked more questions. Do you know whether she has done any abortions? And so there is too much of expectations, especially on the side of the woman. And I've always maintained this position that it takes a man of strong mind to stand and tell his own parents in the face that stop the noise. Stop putting the woman through that pressure. Because there are things in life you just cannot control. And it's also one of the hardest truths that people can accept. There are things you can control. There are couples today, there is nothing medically wrong with them. Exactly. There is nothing spiritually wrong with them. It is not coming. So I would borrow the words of Duke. It comes down to understanding. Do you even understand? These people are in a space where they are doing everything for the first time. The marriage is their first marriage. They are even finding ways of navigating it. And you are here putting pressure of childbirth on them. And so you must have a man. If the man weakens in his mind to kowtow to, let's say, whatever family is saying, that is where the woman feels a lot of pressure on herself, because she feels like she doesn't have anybody to lean on. Exactly. But if you are the man and you step forward, stand up for her, and you are able to tell even your own parents, not just the lady's parents, your own parents that, hey,
because we say you are the, you are the head of the house.
And you are the neck.
Exactly. The woman is the neck. So you tell them, this is my home, this is how things are going to be run. But then, Duke, in our part of the world, because we prioritize children a lot. Yeah. In the cases when they are not coming, people want to try everything possible. They want to know that they've exhausted all means possible. But one thing that people don't love to go for is surrogacy or adoption. Yeah. Why is it a big
this is a very tricky question, you know. It comes down to Ghana's social structure, our cultural social structure. We, the smallest unit in the Ghanaian society is the family, right? Yeah. And until recently, it was the extended family. And this is a very close-knit blood relation, right? And Ghanaians, it's hard sometimes to admit this, but we are very tribalistic.
Highly.
We're very, ethnocentric to that extent. And so, you want, people just can't understand why they should just go and take someone they don't share this, blood relation with, and then all of a sudden treat that person as if that person was his family. Yeah. And this is the reason why adoption is very, very, very difficult. But then again, this is a country where we are also quite funny, because we also love to bring people that we're not blood related to into our homes, and then also treat them as if they were family. We have so many people living with their aunties and uncles and great uncles and great aunties and distant relatives and all that. But I think when it comes down to childlessness and adoption, it also sort of sends a signal that you have conceded defeat. As soon as you go in for an adoption, then you send a signal to the church members and the Meko that you don't trust you don't trust God anymore, and you've taken the matters into your own hands.
So in a case where we're getting married, maybe I'm a career woman, this is the time where I'm at my peak, so I just want to give myself some time, and then the family people come in and all that. People will even think like, okay, of course you can't have children, but meanwhile at that time I'm just taking my time. You're married, smart. So how best can a couple inform the family that, okay, we are giving ourselves some time?
So for us, I think my wife and I, we made a lot of things clear to both parents. We have visited my parents and they've passed the comment and shut them up. We visited her parents. They've made a comment and she shut them up. Because prior to even our wedding, we discussed how long it would take for us to introduce a third person into the family.
I like that.
You understand?
Yeah.
that discussion went so deep to the point that we had to even discuss the type of education we want to give our kids. And so we thought to ourselves that it needed planning. It wasn't something that we were just going to step in and, do. And most things that people do not weigh as well. It's quite interesting you mentioned career, because in Ghana today, if a lady should get pregnant, it means that she is about to lose about 2 years of her life. And if most men are fully aware in terms of consciousness of the place in which you're going to put the woman, they will think twice about how they bring kids into, because there are, I know a friend who, the wife gave birth, the first one, and the second one followed very quickly, like 6 months later. The wife had taken seed again. And so now this lady, who probably may be supporting you at home with other stuff in terms of payment of bills and all that, is going to be out of work for the next 3 to 4 years. And if we do not manage these things, and I really agree with you, because now you must ask yourself, why are we bringing the kids? Is it just we enjoy having kids, or we really want to give them the best of life, or it is just nice to have an addition in the family to the, to the extended family?
But before we wrap up on this particular discussion, I just want to ask you how important it is to plan your children. Because in Ghana, we're talking about economy, things are hard, but people just want to give birth. And there are a lot of children on the streets who are just under the sun, selling and all that. If you know you are not ready, God will take care.
Paula, let's face the fact. It's very difficult to plan in Ghana. It's not like people don't want to plan, or people just are just careless. It's just difficult to plan anything in Ghana. People plan their education, and university lecturers go on strike, and all of a sudden your plan is thrown ajar. It's very difficult. We live in a country where almost everything is based on contingency. You can't even plan a trip that would take 1 hour. You end up spending 3 hours.
Contingency must.
Yes, you say I can't stay my plan.
Wow.
So that's the fact of this life in this country. You can't just plan. That doesn't mean that you should not plan. But you have to plan in such a way that would inculcate into your plan these inconsistencies, these unforeseen circumstances. Almost every friend I have here in Ghana is in a precarious job situation, apart from those who are working for the government. I have one of my friends who recently had, in the span of 4 years, has had 3 kids, and this guy is unemployed. And I asked him, just yesterday, but how are you being responsible? You are not even responsible for your own self. How are you doing this?
3 kids in 4 years.
And then what he told me was that, how do I think he survived? And I said, how? He said, God. It's just God.
God will take care of us.
It's just God.
I see.
It is important to plan, Paula, but at the same time, we don't want to discourage the youth. We don't want to discourage our peers from taking certain bold steps.
Great. Thank you very much, gentlemen. So we're having today's discussion at Anpi's Barber's studio here at the Legon City Mall. Guys, ladies, just working anytime from Monday to Sunday. He works all the time. So you can come here for a clean shave. Our gentlemen, it's very important that you look good all the time. Women too, we have braiding here, we do twist and locks, we do pedicure. It's a 360 thing here, and the environment is very cool. When you come here, you can come with your friends, and as I stated the last time, you can come with your boyfriend, let him get a clean cut, and then later on you see what will happen. But we'll take a quick break here. When we come back, Moons and Cardos on GhanaWeb TV continues. TV. I am Paula Amabroni. Now, for the second part, we're doing something interesting. How to take responsibility for an unplanned pregnancy. Now, this is just not for married people. Before the marriage, when you're there with your girlfriend, with your a woman that you're seeing, and maybe if it's just a one-night thing, and she comes back to say, I'm pregnant, how do you handle it? Do you say, oh, please, this is not what I bargained for, go do the abortion, or you take responsibility? Because at the end of the day, men are taking responsibility for pregnancies. Well, the plan was never to get married. So I just want to have a discussion with our men, Thomas and Smart. So if you had one married your wife, right, and the lady comes in and says, I'm pregnant for you. The plan was not to, get married. How are you going to take it? How are you going to handle it?
I would have advised against it. I would have advised against it. I have a very strong mindset when it comes to stuff like that. And I've realized that in our country, people frown on certain decisions. Now, there is an argument, whether it's pro-life, it's pro-choice, which side do you stand? I don't stand anywhere. I stand where I would benefit from the results. Okay? Because a lot of things truncate. The moment you take that decision. And this is something I tell people. You are free to choose. You are never free from the consequences of your choice. Because the moment something just happens, everything about your life changes. A lady comes to you, she tells you, probably someone you've been dating for a year or two, she tells you, I'm pregnant. What's going to happen now? That means you are going to assume a particular role.
Daddy.
A daddy role. And a daddy role comes with a lot of, responsibilities. And probably, like Luke was saying, you are not even fully in that space, or you don't even have the potential to take care of yourself.
You cannot tell us that you are not ready.
Exactly. So that is where the choice comes in, like I mentioned. What do you want? What do you have with your partners? Or you mentioned even one night stand and stuff like that. People do it once, and
I'm pregnant.
The funny part is the bad boys do it consistently, and one good boy tries it once, one time. Then everything is...
That's so painful.
So, in as much as it is very difficult for you to decide, the two of you must sit down. The two of you must sit down and ask yourself, do we need this?
Okay.
Can we handle this? Because what we normally say is, maybe if we take this away, we might not get one anymore. Do you know how many women are stuck in the hospital because their men or boyfriends or husbands cannot pay for them to be discharged? It's just there, numerous of them. So you ask yourself, you can't even pay for your partner to be discharged. What will you feed the children with? What will you? So planning is key.
All right.
And communication is also key because you must talk about
I want to do a quick one on.
Okay.
Thomas, as a woman, I want to understand, why do some men, emphasis on some men, switch up? We're having a loving relationship. The moment the lady says, I'm pregnant, then you switch up. Then you are showing us your true colors. Why do you do that?
It's because, if you... let's face the fact, some people have sex for recreational purposes and not for family making purposes.
It was nothing serious.
So assuming you go into some sort of a social contract, right, that you're having sex and you're very much aware that a friendly match, right, it's for recreational purposes. Then the lady turns up and says, well, there is a lifelong commitment that has been, as a result of of course, you would flip. I will flip.
I would.
If I'm being honest, because that wasn't the point. That wasn't the social contract. That wasn't unless, of course, there was some sort of consensus that if this, results in pregnancy, we could consider it, right? But if there isn't anything of that sort, then I think that...
Thomas, a man can talk about, we're going to have a happy kids and stuff like that. So some men actually talk about having kids until you tell them there's a kid on the way. But then you talk about a man having to flip because that was not part of his plan. Would you say that is the woman's responsibility to be on a long-term contraceptive while you are not so certain if the man is going to, accept responsibility in that case,
Paula,
should we take the decision of, being in control? Because when it turns out, it always comes back to us.
As a man sitting where I'm sitting now, first of all, I can't dictate or even suggest what kind of contraceptive you should put into your body, because these things come with their own side effects, right? Yeah. But what I can advise my friends is that you should understand that once you get pregnant, even if the man is going to be responsible, you are going to be the one carrying the baby for 9 months. You are going to be the one whose career might be affected by this baby, right? So even though it appears to be a 50-50% responsibility going into this, it isn't. Yes. And that's a natural fact of the matter, that women must always be a step ahead of us when it comes to being smart about whether you want to have a baby or not. Because once you get pregnant, whether it was for recreational purpose or whatever, as soon as the lady becomes pregnant, in my humble opinion, the choice of whether to keep the baby or not is almost solely the woman's responsibility. If the woman says, no, I can't because of my career or even because of my body, that's her choice. That's her body, that's her choice.
Exactly.
Likewise, if she says, well, I think I'm 29 and my mom is, and so I want to have it, then you, the guy, you are in big trouble. You can't force the woman to get an abortion, right? True. So if this is, based on what I've painted here right now, women should always understand that even though it's a 50-50 sort of affair, it's your responsibility to protect yourself and protect your career and protect your health. True. And don't get pregnant for men who can't afford to bail you out of
men, let me put it that way. But then before we wrap up on this conversation, I just want to find out, some men say they were trapped into marriage with a pregnancy. So if a man who is in the hot seat, you find yourself in this situation, but you're thinking, oh, you don't want to have a baby mama, you don't want your kids to be scattered, should you go ahead, even without any plan, or the woman being the woman of your dream, should you go ahead and marry that person? And I would say that don't go having sex with women that you can't close your eyes and imagine that this woman is going to be.
It doesn't happen like that, Paula. It doesn't happen.
It should happen like that.
It doesn't happen like that.
You should take responsibility for your action. If you're having sex with a woman,
this is why I think
you should envisage yourself that in the case of the worst case, am I going to be okay?
You know, it doesn't happen like a structured sex. Sex is not always structured and planned.
See, those who go for the recreational sex, they know their game. They're always on the contraceptive.
And sometimes,
but these women who are tripped,
sometimes they are the ones that come back with the issues.
No, see, Duke.
They are the ones that come back with the issues. We're discussing this because we want people to understand something. You can find somebody and have a very good vibe with the person on the first day you meet the person. A very good vibe, you can swear you've never had that vibe with anybody before. And that vibe will lead to sex. And 3 weeks later, the lady will give you a call and tell you something you are not ready to. So yes, the conversation circles around that. But then it's very long. There's a long decision as to that. Personally, this is something I tell myself. I'll tell you a story. I made a promise to myself that I wouldn't want a lady to have a child for me that I am in no way in the life of the child. Let's say if the relationship doesn't go well. So that is where your point comes in. If I'm about to do something with someone,
think about it.
I must sit and ask myself, can this woman be my wife? Can I show her off to my parents and my friends? Will I be proud to hold her and not suck her around 4 a.m. and get her?
Smart, you haven't had some vodka.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Most of them are not planned. So you are in the club, you're having a good time.
Thomas, tell me about when you've had the vodka. You're not thinking straight,
I think, it's not that simple. I mean, Smart was trying to elucidate that point, that you could be having a good time, and one thing leads to another, and before you realize you are being told you have a family member on the way. And it can be shocking. Yes. Sometimes it can be shocking how some women can get pregnant very easily and others would struggle to but
easily.
Paula, the thing is that we have to understand that in our society, I personally think that having a baby or getting someone pregnant is very different from getting married to someone. You can't as well get married to someone without really thinking that I want to have a baby with this person, because the marriage is between the two of you. The baby is the product of your love, right? That product might come along the way, it might never come along the way. It's about the two people in love and the two people trying to build a life together. That life might include a baby, right? Or it might include adopting a baby. So it's not that black and white that as soon as someone gets pregnant for you, you should marry that person. However, in our Ghanaian society, like we said before, the baby is something that brings two families together in a way that goes even beyond marriage, right? So it's like marrying is one step of bringing two families together, but once you get someone's daughter pregnant, the families become automatically united in that sense, in the cultural sense. I don't remember the last time a friend of mine had vodka in a club, drinking whatever, and then saw a lady and started calculating, is this the woman I want to marry? Is this the woman I want to have? It won't drop. At that moment, you're very much in the moment of that moment. You know what I mean?
For recreational.
You're very in the recreational, you know. So it's not that easy, but women must. And I'm a strong believer that it's fair that this government takes steps to make contraceptives very, very affordable and free for women. In most countries,
we should have like some sort of like vending machine that brings out condoms.
People don't know about it, but if you walk to government hospital, it's very cheap.
Very cheap.
Having to have the IUD, the implants, is very cheap. People don't know about it. It's even cheaper than the emergency contraceptive that you spend a lot of money on. But then, gentlemen, before we wrap up the show, I know that Smart, you've got, stage play coming out. You're going to tell us about it.
Yes. I'm bringing out the wedding night. Last year we did When Will You Marry Me? And now everybody's beginning to think I'm putting my marriage out there, but that's the funny part. So the wedding night is clearly is about Jephthah and Frema expecting, to have a very good time on their wedding night. They arrive in their bedroom, rose petals on the bed, and they meet a very big surprise, from both parties. Very, very big surprise. We are waiting to see what happens eventually on the day. So the wedding night is showing on the 23rd of April, exactly about a month from now, is going on at the Perez Dome.
But Duke, I also know that you've got amazing stuff going there, from the coaching thing to your novel. Is it available on the market?
No, not yet. We're still working on some finishing touches on that book, and we're expecting it to be out by the close of this year, or probably sooner than that.
Please do out and give it to us, we beg. Well, politicians, if I had interviewed a politician, I'm going to give us a timeline.
It's in the pipeline.
It's in the pipeline.
It's actually in the pipeline. I mean, it's a historic fiction novel, and it's around 1390. So it's the late pre-colonial era.
Okay.
And it's briefly about religious imposition and how Islam was imposed on most of the northern Ghana tribe. The book itself is about the Songhai Empire, the old Songhai Empire, and in Ghana it encompasses the Gruma people, a bit of the Gomba people.
The title again?
The Half Moon.
The Half Moon. Great. Please, but how can we connect with you? Smart?
Yes, Facebook as Smart Stitching Nixon. Okay. And almost all my social media channels, Smart Stitching Nixon.
All right. Duke?
Yes, it's Thomas Duke Labeka Mankwando on all my social media platforms.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I must say I love the conversation and all that. So for my ladies who listen, you should take a cue, especially the part where they're talking about the unplanned pregnancy.
The vodka in the other time.
Anyway, it's always a pleasure coming your way with Mons and Cuddles. And as I always say here, we find ways to spice up your relationship. So whatever you put out here, you should, take a cue and, move forward with it. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back with the next episode of Mons and Cuddles. I am Paula Amabreni.
Sweetheart, be mindful of your health. Idea Products Nadia Makeup. I welcome you to Sigma Health and Beauty. You can call us the Beauty Embassy. Who pursue beauty more revealed with quality makeup products. There is only one place. The Sigma Health and Beauty 2022 Ghana Makeup Awards Beauty Retail Business of the Year. Of course, we are the defending champions. World-class makeup brands and Kwanyet on, you name it. Maybelline, Dark and Lovely, House of Tara, and many more. Your professionalism in the beauty industry is unmatchable. Brahmin the proper way of applying our products. Sigma Health and Beauty, Yewa Accra, Makwala, Georgina Stores, and Rollins Park, Gate 4. Fryer 0248 138 596 and 0201 408 186. Or visit our online shop at www.beautyavenuegh.com. Sigma, your beauty, our joy.
Welcome to the Ghana ICT Hub, a partnership between MTN Ghana and the Government of Ghana through the Ministry of Communications and Digitization. MTN pledged to support Ghana's digitization agenda in line with its ambition to lead the delivery of digital solutions for Africa's progress. In fulfillment of this pledge, MTN Ghana has committed $25 million toward the realization of the Ghana ICT Hub project. The objectives of the Ghana ICT Hub project is anchored on the following: to create an ICT-enabled environment for human capital and ICT skills development, to develop an ICT ecosystem through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development, to provide a modern, state-of-the-art physical infrastructure to serve as a pillar for the digital Ghana agenda. The physical infrastructure, when completed, will provide 4,000 square meters of space with the following facilities: laboratories for technology training and research, innovation hub, co-working spaces for tech innovation startups, Tier 3 data center, conferencing facilities, offices and meeting rooms, commercial lettable spaces, gaming area, restaurant, ancillary facilities. The technology laboratories will be fitted with the next generation ICT equipment and applications to provide the youth of Ghana with practical training in Industry 4.0 technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, cloud computing, 3D printing, robotics, Internet of Things, IoT, advanced manufacturing techniques, cybersecurity, genetic engineering. The project also seeks to establish a complete ecosystem at the hub through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development. The ecosystem shall comprise of MDAs, technology companies, startups, incubators, research agencies, leading universities globally, foundations worldwide, to create a community. 1. The ecosystem community shall bridge the divide between academia and industry and provide solutions to challenges in the key sectors of health, agriculture, and educational sectors of the economy. 2. It shall also run an innovation program providing mentoring and networking for the youth in tech startups. 3. The ecosystem community shall establish an innovation fund to support startups, research agencies, and other entities in the ecosystem. MTN Ghana and the Ministry of Communications and Digitization are championing the Ghana digital agenda for Ghana's development. Welcome to the digital age.
somebody's on the label to work is work. You understand? Don't see it as the label is giving you the platform or the opportunity. You are there to work, because when the money starts coming, the label is gonna take their cut. You get it? So it's not any adum now BL. Why would you make bangers and then you're hungry? No. Let's be honest. Like, how much are you spending on your single? And then now you have to go spend some. Even some of the labels are suffering in Ghana. You understand? Like, some just have the name and they are not really doing much.
What is the craziest rumor you've heard about yourself?
Oh, I heard I was gay. Yeah. I heard I was gay. That was like when I started music.
Go Ghana. Are you struggling to pay your huge rent advance? Do you wish to pay your rent on monthly basis? Then good news is here. The government of Ghana has introduced the National Rental Assistance Scheme to help Ghanaians, especially the youth, pay for their rent on a monthly basis.
Sweetheart, be mindful of your health. Dear products Nadia Makeup, I welcome you to Sigma Health and Beauty. You can call us the Beauty Embassy. We pursue beauty more revealed with quality makeup products. There is only one place. The Sigma Health and Beauty 2022 Ghana Makeup Awards Beauty Retail Business of the Year. Of course, we are the defending champions. World-class makeup brands and Kwanyet on, you name it. Maybelline, Dark and Lovely, House of Tara, and many more. Your professionalism in the beauty industry is unmatchable. Brahmin the proper way of applying our products. Sigma Health and Beauty, Yewa Accra, Makwala, Georgina Stores, and Rollins Park, Gate 4. Fryer 0248 138 596 and 0201 408 186. Or visit our online shop at www.beautyavenuegh.com. Sigma, your beauty, our joy.
Welcome to the Ghana ICT Hub, a partnership between MTN Ghana and the Government of Ghana through the Ministry of Communications and Digitization. MTN pledged to support Ghana's digitization agenda in line with its ambition to lead the delivery of digital solutions for Africa's progress. In fulfillment of this pledge, MTN Ghana has committed $25 million toward the realization of the Ghana ICT Hub project. The objectives of the Ghana ICT Hub project is anchored on the following: to create an ICT-enabled environment for human capital and ICT skills development, to develop an ICT ecosystem through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development, to provide a modern, state-of-the-art physical infrastructure to serve as a pillar for the digital Ghana agenda. The physical infrastructure, when completed, will provide 4,000 square meters of space with the following facilities: laboratories for technology training and research, innovation hub, co-working spaces for tech innovation startups, Tier 3 data center, conferencing facilities, offices and meeting rooms, commercial lettable spaces, gaming area, restaurant, ancillary facilities. The technology laboratories will be fitted with the next generation ICT equipment and applications to provide the youth of Ghana with practical training in Industry 4.0 technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, cloud computing, 3D printing, robotics, Internet of Things, IoT, advanced manufacturing techniques, cybersecurity, genetic engineering. The project also seeks to establish a complete ecosystem at the hub through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development. The ecosystem shall comprise of MDAs, technology companies, startups, incubators, research agencies, leading universities globally, foundations worldwide, to create a community. 1. The ecosystem community shall bridge the divide between academia and industry and provide solutions to challenges in the key sectors of health, agriculture, and educational sectors of the economy. 2. It shall also run an innovation program providing mentoring and networking for the youth in tech startups. 3. The ecosystem community shall establish an innovation fund to support startups, research agencies, and other entities in the ecosystem. MTN Ghana and the Ministry of Communications and Digitization are championing the Ghana digital agenda for Ghana's development. Welcome to the digital age.
Somebody's on the label to work is work. You understand? Don't see it as the label is giving you the platform or the opportunity. You are there to work, because when the money starts coming, the label is gonna take their cut. You get it? So it's not any adum now BL. Why would you make bangers and then you're hanging? No, let's be honest. Like, how much are you spending on your single? And then now you have to go spend some. Even some of the labels are suffering in Ghana. You understand? Like, some just have the name and they are not really doing much.
What is the craziest rumor you've heard about yourself?
Oh, I heard I was gay. Yeah. I heard I was gay. That was like when I started music.
Go Ghana. Are you struggling to pay your huge rent advance? Do you wish to pay your rent on monthly basis? Then good news is here. The government of Ghana has introduced the National Rental Assistance Scheme to help Ghanaians, especially the youth, pay for their rent on a monthly basis. To qualify, an applicant must show proof of the following minimum requirements. Be a Ghanaian, possess a valid Ghana card. You must be an adult of 18 years and above, have a verifiable employment or earned income. To apply, visit www.nras.gov.gh. The scheme is currently operational in the following regions: Greater Accra Region, Ashanti Region, Eastern Region, Western Region, Bono East Region, and the Northern Region. For further inquiries, contact 0551 341 515 or 0550 408 879. National Rental Assistance Scheme, making renting accessible for all.
I want you so bad, alpha cracker. I want you. I wanna say yes, I can't resist. I want you. Ooh, I want you, alpha cracker. I want you so bad, alpha cracker.
Alpha goodness rich in milk and butter. In Alpha Cracker, yummy and deliciously crunchy.
But I can't resist you.
Alpha Crackers, simply irresistible.
This advert is FDA approved.
Everyone needs the perfect snack to munch on during a fun moment. Wow. Enjoy the tasty McBerry Twist cupcakes, deliciously baked and packaged for a sweet treat. Premium quality cakes baked with love for all, enriched in butter and milk.
Yummy.
Oh, McBerry Twist cupcakes, simply irresistible. Try one today.
This advert is FDA approved.
Now, oh, me.
Obek Kanokre. Susu sang pine be a want to nambia a man in quite baby.
Mommy, you face can see about Kotoso. Pepoga, send me sick from Lemonade Finance. While Brian did the shit and let me £2.
Lemonade Finance.
Say they're sending money back home from UK, Canada, and now US. I accepted a instant charges. Extinguishing and so ye unbeatable. We should make promo code Dr. Like menya £10, $10 and $10 Canadian for the first transaction. What is send this guy akofino download to Lemonade Finance.
Prior to even our wedding, we discussed how long it will take for us to introduce a third person into the family.
I like that.
Right there.
Alfred Enchibuedu. We also have with us the Chief Director at the Ministry, Madame Mariam W.A. Papa. We also have with us the Chief Director here at the Ministry of Information, Mrs. Mo.
Sweetheart, be mindful of your health. Idea Products Nadia Makeup. I welcome you to Sigma Health and Beauty. You can call us the Beauty Embassy. Who pursue beauty more revealed with quality makeup products. There is only one place. The Sigma Health and Beauty 2022 Ghana Makeup Awards Beauty Retail Business of the Year. Of course, we are the defending champions. World-class makeup brands and Kwanyet on, you name it. Maybelline, Dark and Lovely, House of Tara, and many more. Your professionalism in the beauty industry is unmatchable. The proper way of applying our products. Sigma Health and Beauty, Yewa Accra, Makola, Georgina Stores, and Rollins Park, Gate 4. Fryer in 0248 138 596 and 0201 408 186. Or visit our online shop at www.beautyavenuegh.com. Sigma.
Honorable members, shall we pray? Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to look with favor upon this Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in thy sight. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic, endow members of Parliament and ministers of state with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labors of government this land and people may be well and truly served, and thy good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. O God, grant us a vision of our country, fair as it might be, a country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, a country of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, a country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service and honor shall be given to the deserving, a country of peace, where government shall rest on the wills of the people and the love for the common good. Bless the effort of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Honorable members, we don't have any message from the President, neither do we have any communication from the Speaker. So we turn to item 4 in today's order paper, item 4, correction of votes and proceedings and official reports.
from page 1 of Votes and Proceedings, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, page number 7, page 8, page 9, page 10, page number 11, page 12, page 13, and finally page 14. Honourable members, in the absence of any corrections, the votes and proceedings of Friday, 16 June 2023 is hereby adopted as the true records of proceedings. Before we begin with today's proceedings, let me use this opportunity to welcome our brothers from American Institute for Resource and Human Resource Development, led by Professor Fredolin O. Anodbi, who happens to be in the country and are paying a visit to Parliament. We acknowledge you and welcome you to Ghana and to the Parliament of Ghana. Yes, leader.
Speaker, may I seek your indulgence, come under order 52.2 for us to provide order of business, and for very good reasons. Then commence public business, lay papers, after which we can take the questions. I'm told the answers are still being printed. And so we'll commence public business and take item 7A all the way to E. Speaker, with your leave.
Very well.
All right, Honourable Speaker, we do not have any objection to that. The only problem is I can't see enough of the ministers here, or many of the ministers here, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But we don't have any fundamental objection to that.
Well. The leave is granted. Minister, understand your answers are not available. It's been...
Mr. Speaker, the responses are available, but they are printing them now. In the meantime, we can do the presentation of these papers as requested by the Chief Whip for the majority.
Very well. So, Honourable Minister for Lands and Natural Resources.
Mr. Speaker, I will deal with the first one by the Finance Minister. So I would seek your indulgence to present the paper on behalf of the Minister of Finance. No, the presentation of the paper.
Yes, fine.
Mr. Speaker, I can see the later making an application to lay the paper on behalf of the finance minister. I know he's a former finance minister, but at least you should tell us where the current finance minister is, why he's laying the paper on his behalf.
Well, yes. Speaker, the officials of the World Bank and IMF are here. They need to be having further consultations. So the minister is preoccupied with those.
Yes, Minister, Majority Leader may do that. You might do so.
Financing agreement between the Government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Finance and the International Fund for Agricultural Development, for an amount of $52,500,000 United States dollars, made up of blended loan of $35,175,000 United States dollars and highly concessional loan of $17,325,000 United States dollars to finance the Promoting Rural Opportunities, Sustainable Profits and Environmental Resilience Project.
Honorable members, the agreement has been duly presented. It is referred to the Committee on Finance for consideration and report. I am directing that the leadership of Committee on Agriculture and Cocoa Affairs may join the Finance Committee. 7B, by the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources.
Budget performance report in respect of the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources for the period January to December 2022.
Honourable members, the report has been duly presented. It is referred to the Committee on Lands and Forestry for consideration and report. We turn to 7C. Do you have Minister for Youth and Sports?
Speaker, the Minister is engaged outside the chamber. I respectfully to seek your indulgence in that of the House to allow the Minister responsible for Lands and Natural Resources to do the presentation of these documents on behalf of the other ministers, Youth and Sports, Communications and Digitalization, and the Minister for Transport.
Very well. Leave granted.
Budget performance report of the Ministry of Youth and Sports for the period January to December 2022.
Honourable members, the report has been duly presented. It is referred to the Committee on Youth, Sports and Culture for consideration and report. Let's move to 7D by the Minister for Communications.
Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Ministry of Communications and Digitization for the year 2022.
Honourable members, the report has been duly presented. It is referred to the Committee on Communications for consideration and report. 7E by the Minister for Transport.
Annual report of the National Road Safety Authority for the year 2021. Annual report for the National Road Safety Authority for the year 2022.
Why?
Mr. Speaker, you mentioned 7E Roman 1, and the Minister for Lands duly laid the paper. You didn't mention 7E Roman 2, for which the clerk read the paper. So I think the writing ought to be done, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. I thought we were taking them together. So all the reports are being referred to the Committee on Roads and Transport for consideration and report. So I consider that they've been taken together. Honourable members, let me bring you back to item 2 in today's order paper. Item 2, message from the President. We have received a message from the President. He's traveling outside the country now. So I read the message. In accordance with Article 59 of the Constitution, I write to inform you that I will be traveling outside the country in the afternoon of Monday, 19 June 2023, to Cordoba, Spain, at the joint invitation of the King of Spain, His Majesty Felipe Juan Pablo Afonso the Sixth, and King of Jordan, His Majesty Abdullah II bin Al Hussein, to participate in the Aqaba process meeting of West Africa and the Sahel, scheduled to be held on 20th June 2023 at Cordoba. Therefore, I will travel to Paris, France, at invitation. Thereafter, I will travel to Paris, France, at the invitation of the French President, His Excellency Emmanuel Macron, to participate in the summit for a new global financial pact to be held from 22nd to 23rd June 2023. I will proceed to London, United Kingdom, on 23rd June 2023 for a private visit, and return to Ghana on Saturday, 24th June 2023. During my absence, the Vice President, Alhaji Dr. Maum Baumia, shall, in accordance with Article 68 of the Constitution, act in my stead. Yours sincerely, Nana Ado Dankwa Ekufu Ado. Yes. Leader, can we now take the questions?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, the questions will be responded to in due time. Mr. Speaker, this thing has often Mr. Speaker, I was just saying that often we listen to such communication from the Office of the President. The relevant provision in the Constitution is to this effect, that whenever the President is absent from Ghana or is for any other reason unable to perform the functions of his office, Mr. Speaker, it presupposes that if the President is absent from Ghana, he is unable to perform the functions of the President, which we all do know is incorrect. Mr. Speaker, so when you come to 11, it provides that where the President and the Vice President are both unable to perform the functions of the President, the Speaker of Parliament shall perform those functions until the President or the Vice President is able to perform those functions. The critical issue is mere traveling outside the jurisdiction. Does that amount to inability to perform the functions of the office of the President? It doesn't. The Speaker, in any event, he is there as the President of the Republic and is performing the functions of his office. How can anybody construe that to mean that he is not able to perform the functions of the office of the President? Mr. Speaker, so I disagree with the concept.
Honourable members, please, let's give him attention. If you have any contrary view, you will be given the opportunity to also air your view. Please, let's listen to him.
Mr. Speaker, that is a very good directive to the choristers behind. You are not supporting me. You are singing a different tune. I could hear from you. Mr. Speaker, so I'm saying that I don't think that mere absence from the jurisdiction should be construed to mean that the President is not able to perform the functions of his office. He leaves to the United Nations to attend conferences as the President of the Republic. How can anybody construe that to mean that the mere fact that he's outside amounts to inability to perform the functions of his office? When he's there, recognizably as the President of the Republic and is performing the functions of the office of the President. And I think that, Mr. Speaker, it should be part of our engagement. It's the reason why some of us are proposing a holistic review of this Constitution. Because there are so many things that really, come to think of it, are incongruous with reality. The President's absence from the Republic does not mean, if it is maybe for medical reasons, his travels outside, is not able to perform his functions for the time being, maybe lasting 2-3 days. That then could lend credence to this provision. But if he goes to perform the functions of his office in his capacity as a president, and you swear in a new president, an acting president, in other words, then you're having two presidents operating concurrently. And that is not what is envisaged by the Constitution. So I think that as a House, we should apply ourselves critically to this, and then the Speaker make the necessary modifications to this. Unfortunately, Article 60 is part of the entrenched provisions. So even if you want to tinker with it, you must conduct a referendum. And I'm saying that it may be important for us to further engage on this and also respond positively to the call for us to have a holistic review of our Constitution. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much.
Very well. Honourable Leader, I think when you look at Article 59, the impulse of informing Parliament and by extension the whole nation is just to inform Parliament that he is traveling outside. The Constitution is not talking about the fact that he cannot function, that's why he's outside. When you look at Article 59, it is explicit that the President can never travel outside the jurisdiction without informing Parliament and by extension the whole country. I think the import of this letter or communication is just to inform us that he's outside the country. Anyway, let me go to Honourable Member for Kankwe Central before I come to
Mr. Speaker, I disagree with the Majority Leader respectfully. And let me refer you to Article 68. Yes. So whenever the President is absent from Ghana, or is for any other reason unable to perform the functions of his office, the Vice President shall perform the functions of the President until the President returns or is able to perform those functions. And you read Article 59, absent from Ghana. And it says that the President shall not leave Ghana without prior notification in writing, signed by him and addressed to the Speaker of Parliament. The Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Article 130 on the interpretation and enforcement of the Constitution. These provisions, among other provisions of the Constitution, has been tested at the Supreme Court in the Samolata Mensah and Professor Kweku Asari versus the Attorney General. At the Supreme Court, at the highest court, and the decision of the court was that any time the President was absent from the jurisdiction, the Vice President must act, which is clear. In his absence, the Speaker. And the Supreme Court went ahead to state that the Speaker must subscribe to both oaths as provided for under the Constitution. So it is very clear from our laws that any time that the President is unable, because the Constitution does not anticipate any vacuum, anticipate any vacuum. I know there's no vacuum. Let me go back. That the office of the President ought to create. In this instance, there's no vacuum. The President has traveled. We have a Vice President. He's going to act. He's going to perform all those functions. But in this instance, he's not subscribing to those oaths that I mentioned too, because it's been done. You see, at the swearing of the President, that was done. But if the Speaker, in the case that both the President and Vice are out, will have to subscribe to those oaths. So there are two different scenarios, and the Supreme Court has determined that. So there is no ambiguity, as the majority leader is saying, that it's incongruous, and there's a problem with it.
Well, let me come to member for Aswasi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, well, the argument by Majority Leader, I think the first leg you have settled it with Article 59. And I think that there's no contention as to whether it is for his inability to perform. That's why he must inform Parliament. No. Article 59 is very clear. It is just to inform the country that he's stepping outside the jurisdiction of the country. And I think there's no argument about that. I think the argument with the Majority Leader, unfortunately my colleague Patrick Boama was overstretching it. I don't think Majority Leader was arguing that there's ambiguity in the law. He's of the view that we must amend the Constitution so that we take into cognizance the current technological advancement. You remember very well that in 1992, when we started this Fourth Republic, we didn't have this sophistication in gadgets where you can have Zoom, you can chair meetings wherever you are, you can communicate, you can sign documents and immediately wire them back home, and all that were not there. But all I wanted to draw the Majority Leader's attention is this. As he is very much aware, three things governs what we do in this House. First is the 1992 Constitution, which is explicitly stated. Second is our standing orders. And the most important thing is our practices. How have we practiced these things over the years? And you agree with me, yes, even though you've been doing something for 1,000 years, if there's a need to change it, you have to make the necessary steps to change it. But for now, until we are able to amend the Constitution, you will not be able to make the kind of argument that he's making, because, I mean, in our country, ours is even better. I mean, he's very much aware in the case of Nigeria. It's worse. It's worse because the president must sign to hand over to a vice president. And there was this crisis when President Yaradua was seriously sick and he could not sign. And good luck, Jonathan will not be acting.
Ours is a little easier because it's supposed to inform the speaker, and then all the other things will subsequently happen. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Majority Leader will remember during I think the State Parliament, where there were a number of travels, and Right Speaker Dua Ajao took the oath once and thought that once I've taken the oath, it can last. All the issues that came, said no. Each time, even if you do it today and tomorrow he comes and the next day he leaves, you have to still do it again. So the practices are very, very important and we must guide them. But when it comes to a constitutional amendment, Majority Leader, you and I, graciously, you have stayed in this house longer than almost as we speak in this chamber. It's only Honorable Avoka who can match you as long as you stayed in this house. You remember very well the Constitutional Amendment Commission, the work that they have done. I keep asking, what is preventing us as a country from implementing the recommendations? Because since the State Parliament, since 2013, we have virtually iced it. And all of us keep talking about the constitutional amendment. Yet a lot of work has been done. It is just to implement and finish it. And we've left it hanging. And yet all of us keep complaining about it. Are we anticipating another all over a fresh amendment? Because remember what they did was very extensive. They moved region by region. I mean, the document is very voluminous. Let's take steps to make a lot of changes. Because, Mr. Speaker, I have said, with a greater respect, that the 1992 Constitution that we currently have simply helps us to elect a dictator. Because if you look at the Constitution, all it does is to create a monster president who is a superhuman being, who does almost everything. And a lot of those checks had to be corrected. Because what we are doing simply, what we have, the Constitution that we created simply creates a super, what do you call, we give so much power to the president. Mr. Speaker, without diverting the crux of the argument, we all know that in a presidential system, two other things must follow it. One is checks and balance. You and I know that that is something that is very difficult for us to do for the last 30 years. We need to really take advantage and amend the Constitution, among other things that the President, the Majority Leader is saying. Because currently, Mr. Speaker, there are a number of members of Parliament who are on parliamentary trips. But if they do not seek, what do you call it, leave of absence, written, they will mark absent. All these things are part of the issue because now with technology, you can follow this procedure. How we speak, other members who are on official trips outside can be following the proceedings. In fact, we even have gadgets where they will be able to contribute to what we are debating. Yet, we make it a norm that when we started in 1992, there was no WhatsApp, there was no Zoom, there was no strong internet connectivity. 30 years down the line, where we have all this advancement, we should continue to behave as if we are still living in yesterday, where all this advancement is no longer there. I think we need to make our Constitution a living one, so that it will be able to stand the test of changes as it happens. So I agree with him, we must make those things. But for now, that until those constitutional amendments are done, I think that we need to stick to our the provisions of the Constitution and our practices until there is the need, sincerely, to make amends. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute.
Thank you very much. I'll take Honorable, then I'll come to you. Then you close the chapter. Yes, Honorable Samuel Bujanapo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful for the opportunity to contribute to this very useful engagement and discussion. Mr. Speaker, I want to draw the House attention to the provisions which have already been articulated, which is Article 59 and Article 68. And Mr. Speaker, I want to submit that, respectfully, I don't find any ambiguity whatsoever in Article 60, Article 59, and Article 68. Mr. Speaker, with your permission, Article 59. Article 59 states
the president shall not leave Ghana without prior notification in writing, signed by him and addressed to the Speaker of Parliament. The Speaker, the first submission I want to make is that this article is speaking to a completely different matter. It's talking about the legal creature of the president leaving Ghana and the requirements imposed on the president to inform Parliament in writing when he leaves the country. Mr. Speaker, I will suspect that the framers of the Constitution deliberately gave this instruction in one article different from Article 60, who talks about who acts when the president leaves the country. So the first submission I want to make is that Article 59 is a different dictate completely by the framers of the Constitution, which is the president leaving the country and what he ought to do. When he has to leave the country, he has to inform Parliament. It must be in writing. The Speaker, then Article 68, and Article 68 reads, whenever the president is absent from Ghana or is for any other reason unable to perform the functions of his office, the vice president shall perform the functions of the president until the president returns or is able to perform his functions. Mr. Speaker, I want to draw your attention and the House attention to two very important operative words, the or. The or is repeated twice. Or is repeated when the president is absent from Ghana or is for any other reason unable to perform his function. Then, Mr. Speaker, the or is repeated again when it says the president until the president returns or is able to perform his functions. Mr. Speaker, or in law is disjunctive. It's not conjunctive. It means there are two separate things. So what the Constitution simply says is that when the president is absent from Ghana or he's unable to perform the functions of his office, the vice president shall act. And that the vice president shall cease to act only when he is present in Ghana or is able to perform the functions of his office. So, I think respectfully, most respectfully, the confusion which has arisen, and perhaps the confusion in the mind of my revered, respected majority leader, is that he is merging unable to perform functions and leaving office. And as I submit, Mr. Speaker, once the framers of the Constitution use the word or, it means they are disjunctive. They are supposed to be separated. If the Constitution has said and, then it's conjunctive. Then the president must leave office and is unable to perform the functions of his office before the vice president will be called in to act in his stead. In this case of Article 68, it uses the very important fundamental operative word or, which is disjunctive. So the vice president, in conclusion, Mr. Speaker, the vice president can act only on two occasions. One, when the president is absent from the jurisdiction. Two is when the president is unable to perform his functions. And when it's unable to perform, the Constitution goes further to spell out the circumstance under which he will be unable to perform the functions of his office. There is no ambiguity, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
I'll give the last lot. Leader, I'll give the last lot to
Mr. Speaker.
It appears today we are doing
Mr.
interpretation.
Speaker, the majority leader is absolutely right.
Hey,
he's absolutely right, Mr. Speaker. Indeed, the letter you read is premised on Article 59, which is to say that the president is informing Parliament, I'm out of the country. But if you read 68, the question he's asking is this: does the mere absence of the president, who is fit and able to do his job, a mere absence from the country, suggest that he's unable to perform his functions? And the answer is absolutely no. The president is still performing his function. Mr. Speaker, my colleague said that, look, there's only one occasion on which the vice president will take an oath to be president. That is when the president dies or the president has been removed from office. Until that time, the president is still the president. So what the majority leader is calling for is this, that the ritual where the physical absence of the president from the jurisdiction suggests that he's unable to perform his function is an anomaly, Mr. Speaker. In any case, are we saying that if this afternoon the Vice President issues a directive and the President doesn't like it, the President is not capable of overturning that and giving a counter directive? We don't have two presidents. We have one president. So, Mr. Speaker, we have to look at this when the constitutional amendment is going to take place. Indeed, Article 59 and 68 appear to be conflicting. And indeed, when the president is out of the jurisdiction, it doesn't mean that he's unable to perform his function as a president. It's different from saying that an oath should be taken. I think president should stop the letter when they inform Parliament under Article 59. They shouldn't go on be saying anything else, because the addition of the Vice President would act in his state is the one that is causing this problem. He informed Parliament that he's out of the jurisdiction. He said the President, we don't have two presidents, and the Vice President is not actually an acting president as we speak, because we have a president that is active, Mr. Speaker. That's my view.
Very well, we are. Anyway, you. No, I'm not inviting any other person. I will just give. Who is right?
Mr. Speaker, my brother Abu is right on this matter. The absence as used in the Constitution is not about absence from office. It's not about absence from office. That is the first scenario. So he's right in stating that there are two scenarios that the Vice President will be called upon to act. And the second scenario, which is inability to perform, that one too is for an interim purposes. When there's a scenario that he cannot perform at all, then the provision stated in the Constitution will be sprung back to life. So, my brother, the lawyer, is right on the interpretation placed on this matter. Oh, the two leaders are wrong on this matter, Mr. Speaker. They are wrong.
Leader, but Honorable Buama has just sent me a message that this matter has been settled by the Supreme Court.
Mr. Speaker, I told my colleague, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, that ab initio it was wrong, even before he started. Mr. Speaker, please look at the Constitution. Look at the wording. Mr. Speaker, Article 68 is simple. Mr. Speaker, it provides, whenever the President is absent from Ghana, we do appreciate that there are two legs which would occasion the Vice President acting. One is absence. The other one is inability to perform the functions of his office. Mr. Speaker, the reason I'm telling them that they are totally wrong, and that band has also been joined by the Honorable Dafiamopo. All of them are on a mission impossible. In fact, Mr. Speaker, they require a rescue mission to salvage them because they are totally wrong. Mr. Speaker, the language of the Constitution, they should listen carefully, is that whenever the President is absent from Ghana or is for any other reason, it didn't say for a reason is unable to perform his function. It says for any other reason unable to perform his function. The Speaker, the presumption, the necessary implication is that when he's absent, he cannot perform his functions. The Speaker, this is grammar. This is English language. Mr. Speaker, they are totally wrong in the understanding of this. They are totally wrong. Mr. Speaker, they are totally wrong. Mr. Speaker, so it is a reason why when we come to 11 then amplifies it. It says that when the president and the vice president are both unable to perform the functions of the president, because that inability has been established in 68. When it comes to 11, it says when they are unable to perform their functions. Mr. Speaker, is the reason why then we talk about this. It didn't say when they are out of the jurisdiction, but we do know that whenever the speaker has acted, the president will be absent from the country, the vice president will be absent from the country, and they are construed to mean that they are unable to perform their functions, which is what occasions the speaker to act as the president. Mr. Speaker, so if you look at 58, traveling outside is construed as inability to perform their functions. When does the speaker act as the president? When the two are outside the jurisdiction. And then 11 will tell you that they are unable to perform the function. That is why the speaker is calling. The speaker, I believe we should shut the door at least. They are totally wrong. That's why I'm saying that we should have a review. We should have a review of the constitution to settle this matter. I thank you.
Well. Honorable members, all those people who are contributing didn't take part in the consultative assembly. We have somebody who was part of the consultative assembly who drafted the constitution. So let's also listen to him. Honorable Kretus Abuka, let's hear you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, with the greatest respect, my majority leader and minority chief whip are misleading the House as far as the interpretation of the Constitution is concerned. I took part in drafting this Constitution and then this paragraph. I was called to the bar in 1978, before 1992 a constitution came into power. So not as a cadre, but as a lawyer that I came here. Mr. Speaker, I think that Article 68 is very clear and simple. We do not need to import ambiguities and then douse into it. It specifies two things. One, if the president is physically absent in the country, then the vice president is enlarged and supposed to act. On the other hand, if he is in the country, but for one reason or another, he cannot perform the function of president, then the vice president can act. You don't need to import other misunderstanding to this provision at all. It is unnecessary. It is pedantic. And you are being verbose. So I think that the interpretation given by the Honourable Minister for Lands and Forestry and my very good friend Robson there is that while the president is outside, the vice president is in acting position. He's the acting president. That is not the issue. What he is doing there, what the reason for going out, leaving the jurisdiction of the country is not an issue. What the fact is that he is physically outside the country, and that is what 68 is talking about. So, Mr. Speaker, I think that the minister is correct. The Honourable Minister for Lands and Forestry and MP for Damango is correct. And then we should limit ourselves to this ordinary interpretation of the Constitution, this simple interpretation of the Constitution, that the president is physically outside the country, the vice president acts. If the president were here and is not capable of doing the work, the vice president acts. Simple. Any other interpretation is absurd and then misconstrued. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now you bring to a close this particular chapter. We will revisit it one day. We will revisit this issue one day. So, yes, Honourable Majority Whip.
We have earlier come under Order 53. 52, I think, vary the order of business. Shall we revert to item 5, question time?
Honourable members, let me invite you to page 2, item listed 5 questions Honorable Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, you take your appropriate seat. Honorable members, we have 10 questions for the minister. 10 questions. The directive is that if the question is a constituency specific, we are not going to pass on any supplementary question to any other member if it is constituency specific. I hope you bear with me. Very well. So you begin with question 1117. 1117. And the question stands in the name of a member for Impoho. Honorable John Kobina Aban Abua Sani. Is Sani not around?
Mr. Speaker, with your leave, I rise to ask the question on behalf of Honorable John.
Honorable Leader, I haven't permitted you.
Again.
I haven't granted that. So on what grounds are you coming?
He is attending to constituency business and has asked that I ask a question on his behalf.
On what grounds based on our standing orders? That
68-3.
Order 68-3.
Very well, Leader. Let's hear you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
But honourable members, we are all learning. So when I ask that, upon what grounds is she coming, don't take it that I'm personally attacking her. No. So we are all learning. I think last week this issue came up, and we advised ourselves that if the owner of the question is not here, the one who is asking the question on behalf of the owner should have even sought permission, prior permission, as per our standing order 68-3. So, Honourable Leader, you may ask the question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. I rise to ask the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources about the plans being taken by the Ministry to tackle the wanton destruction of cocoa farms, especially in the Wassa, Fiase, and Wassa Amenfi areas by illegal miners from their activities. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, first of all, permit me to reiterate the mandate under the ministry, which is to ensure the sustainable and efficient management of the lands and natural resources of our country. Mr. Speaker, in line with this mandate, the ministry develops policy, legislative and regulatory framework for the management and utilization of our natural resources. Except for the regulatory enforcement undertaken by the Minerals Commission, enforcement of these laws, including dealing with illegal mining activities, is within the remit of the security agencies as established by law. Nonetheless, Mr. Speaker, since assuming office in 2021 in partnership with other state agencies, the ministry, under the leadership of President Akufo-Addo, has employed a two-pronged approach to clamp down on illegal mining activities across the country. That is law enforcement and reformation of the sector. These include the revamping of the community mining schemes, the introduction of the mercury-free gold processing equipment known as the gold catcher, the launch of the National Alternative Employment and Livelihood Program to provide alternative sources of livelihood to those engaged in illegal and unsustainable mining practices, the retooling of the Inspectorate Division of the Minerals Commission, and recruitment of more mine inspectors to enforce mining regulations, as well as the establishment of small-scale mining committees. in accordance with Section 92 of the Minerals and Mining Act 206, Act 703. Mr. Speaker, specifically in respect of the Wasa areas, in Wasa Amenfi, we have launched a community mining scheme in Afransi in the Wasa Amenfi East Municipality, and in Wasa Fiase, 2 schemes have been launched in Akon in the Takwa in Suyen Municipality and Abosu in the Pristia Wuni Valley Municipality to engage the youth in legal and responsible small-scale mining and prevent the destruction of cocoa farms. About 14 other community mining schemes are scheduled to be commissioned in the coming days in Adjewoso and Kedadren in the Takwa Insuye Municipality, Adamanso, Mansiso, and Sushenso in the Wasa Amenfi East Municipality, and Kase and Sunyameye, Ayem, and Hiawa in the Wasa Amenfi Central District, and Adasi, Afriye Krom, Breman, Amuaman, and Ankani in the Wasa Amenfi West Municipality. As part of measures to promote responsible small-scale mining, 10 blocked-out areas in Wasa Amenfi East, 6 in Wasa Amenfi West, and 2 in Wasa Amenfi Central have been gazetted to inform all those interested in legal small-scale mining to apply for licensing. Interested applicants can apply from the comfort of their homes through the online application portal launched by the Minerals Commission. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, the Minerals Commission and the National Alternative Employment and Livelihood Program are implementing alternative livelihood programs, including oil palm plantations, to engage those involved in illegal mining. In the area of law enforcement, we've inaugurated small-scale mining committees in Wasa Amenfi East and West municipalities, Wasa Amenfi Central District, Takwa Insuye Municipality, and Pristia Wuni Valley Municipality, chaired by the municipal and district chief executives, who double as the chairpersons of the municipal and district security councils to assist the district offices of the Minerals Commission to effectively monitor small-scale mining operations. The district offices of the Minerals Commission in the area continuously circulate reports of illegal mining activities to the regional, municipal, and district security councils to inform their decisions and seek their collaboration in tackling this menace. These measures are supported by the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Mining operating in the area. Mr. Speaker, let me assure this august House of the unflinching commitment of the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources and my personal commitment to persevere until we are successful at constructing here in our country a viable, sustainable, responsible, and environmentally sound small-scale mining, which contributes meaningfully to the national economy of our country while safeguarding the integrity of our natural environment. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. We move to question 1569. Question 1569. And the question stands in the member for Sisala West. Sisala West. Honorable Mohammed Adam Saparu. Honorable member, I said this is a specific constituency question. I'm not going to pass on any supplementary question.
Speaker,
yes, honorable member for
national issue. It's a national issue.
Sisala West.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources whether owners of the land secured for the Marine Drive project in Accra have been compensated. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the land earmarked for the Marine Drive Tourism Development Project, measuring approximately 241 acres, was acquired in 2016 by the State Lands, Accra, Osu, site for Marine Drive Investment Project Instrument 2016, EI-59. Following the publication of the executive instrument, several claims for compensation were submitted to the Lands Commission. Out of the claims received, the claim by Efia Africa Hotel has been assessed and duly paid. Compensation for 4 other claimants, namely Dream Reality, Vase Enterprise, Developing Women for Mobilization, and Spans Babcock Holdings BV, have been approved by the Lands Commission and communicated to the Ministry of Tourism for payment. The Commission is awaiting release of funds from the Ministry of Tourism to make payment. Meanwhile, Mr. Speaker, Spans Bangkok Holdings BV has instituted an action in court challenging the quantum of compensation approved by the Lands Commission. This matter has to be resolved before the compensation to the company can be settled. Other claims have not been processed due to conflicting claims. The Lands Commission is working with the relevant parties to resolve the conflicting claims to be able to settle compensation. Mr. Speaker, the timber industry and the forestry sector generally contribute significantly to our national economy and the health of our peoples. Last year, our timber and timber species exports increased significantly from 302,183.0.6 cubic meters in 2021 to 343,440.081 cubic meters in 2022, representing an increase of 13.65%. This generated a total amount of 153,861,837 euros and 67 cents. Over the years, however, incessant degradation of our forests through activities such as illegal logging, illegal mining, wildfires, agricultural expansion, among others, without any conscious effort to replace them, has led to a reduction of our forest estate and timber resources. For example, Mr. Speaker, between 2010 and 2015 alone, a total of 160,000